Despite not winning either of the two heats in the first round of the PolarGT $1,000 Cup, Norby Kiss for the Orion race team took the championship lead coming out of Spa with two top 5 finishes. Philip Hildebrand and Dave Geeling won Heat 1 and 2 respectively, but showed that in the championship, consistency is arguably more important than just raw pace. A number of drivers had their day come to an early end in Heat 2, meaning that they fell back in the standings as the top 20 car inverted field reared its ugly head. Today, the series moves to Silverstone in Northamptonshire, England for Heat 3 and 4 of the championship. Whilst Northamptonshire may be known as the land of the dead for those living in and around it, Silverstone has the unique honour of falling outside that mould, as it's a pure racetrack that the drivers love coming to. Corner names draw unique memories from the fans, and with tough, high-speed corners and a tricky technical section to complete the lap, drivers will have to find a balance between out-and-out speed and aerodynamic grip. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the second round of the PolarGT $1,000 Cup, live here and exclusive on GlacierTV. Will Vincent and Rob Coss in the booth, bringing you all of the action from both qualifying and the two races here today, as the championship continues to take shape. Keep in contact on Twitter using the hashtag PolarGT, and learn more about the series on the PolarGT mini site on GlacierTV.com. Time now to introduce one of the most famous racetracks in the world with the GlacierTV Silverstone Track Guide. So the first ever GlacierTV hearing impaired track guide there, we apologise for that. But Will Vincent, Rob Cuss in the booth here for qualifying at the moment. And Rob, let's talk about this racetrack. Turn number 1, we'll start there, Cops Corner. In these cars, it is still very fast, but that curb on the outside, on the exit of the corner, really is going to make it tough for these drivers. I've seen so many cars in practice already get 2 wheels onto the curb, and a little bit of grass to the left of that, and then you spin that car around, it's game over.
The curb of death, basically. Yeah, you touch your wheels on that, and it plants you in the wall. We saw it in Pro Twice and in practice for this as well. So it's critical to get a good entry in, and to make the exit nice and easy, going up to the fast Beckett's complex.
Yeah, then you head down into Maggots and then Beckett's, coming out there into Chapel Corner. That long run down the Hamley straightaway, that is why we expect to see most of the passing happening in today. And because Stoke Corner is so wide and you have got that runoff area as well, we have seen in the past people trying to make that pass on the outside coming down into Stoke, mainly because then you get the cut under and then the inside line down into Club Corner.
Exactly, it's a bold move, but there's a lot of room to do that. Also, you can see the cutback happening, and obviously going into the Vale section and into Club, another prime passing opportunity is you're dropping it down the gears for the tight left, and then also on the exit of Club, coming around the outside as well onto that long run down the farm straight.
We are keeping a look even at qualifying. I don't know what happened to me there. I decided I couldn't speak English anymore. But we are keeping a look at qualifying. There are currently 2 different sessions taking place. Drivers now have a total of 4 laps which they can do in the space of 10 minutes. Now that pretty much is coming to an end. And I'm having a look at the qualifying times. There's pretty interesting up front. I mean, Norby Kiss, for example, was one of the fastest guys in practice at the time, 1 minute 46.248. Having a look at his qualifying times, he did a 1 minute 46.210, so he went even faster than that on his qualifying lap.
Yeah, he's put the hammer down on the noisy pedal and just drive it like he stole it, I guess. I mean, my session as well, there's quite a few people dipping into the 146s. Emil Spindale, Christian Simzak as well, low 146s, so we'll see how it pans out.
And of course, Norby Kiss is your championship leader for Orion Race Team, 260 points. You have Philip Hildebrand 11 points behind him in second. Dave Geelink in third for INX Racing. He's 25 points behind Kiss. And then you have Henry Backman currently in the 4th position. Petro Cotabara rounding out your top 5. And what we saw 2 weeks ago, Rob, was that, first race, that's perfectly fine. You've got to find a way of negotiating traffic in the second race.
The classic second race blues. Having raced Proto Ice, I know all about that with the faster guys coming through, and the slower guys are watching the mirrors as well as trying to keep their position, because at the end of the day we're fighting for it, even though we may be 2 seconds off the pace of the quicker guys. So I love the second race. It's the best one. It's great.
It is, and don't forget, for those of you who missed out 2 weeks ago at Spa, where the hell were you? But changes to the rules. You have now an extra 5 minutes in heat number 2. You also have a rolling start for heat number 2. A rolling start down into Cops Corner. That is going to be truly crazy, especially when you consider the fact you've got that runoff area that some guys might try a little bit brave, and you've also got that run, and you're going to be too wide all the way down. I don't know, probably down to at least the Abbey Chicane.
I think we'll see 3 wide, if I'm brutally honest. It's wide enough just, and it's going to be carnage. Absolute carnage. But it's going to make great racing and a great spectacle for all those viewing at their machine.
Indeed, yeah, and we are going to get confirmation of the qualifying times as soon as we possibly can. We literally have a load of penguins who are working out all of the standings as they come through. I can say in one of the sessions, Norby Kiss was the fastest. He was in arguably the slower of the 2 sessions driver-wise. He had Enzo Benito in second in his split. So Kiss did a 1 minute 46.2, Enzo Benito at 1 minute 46.4, Max DeLorco at 1 minute 46.7, Dave Geelink at 1 minute 46.7, and Philip Hildebrand at 1 minute 46.8. So that does look as though Norby Kiss is on a mission here today.
One of the most talented drivers in this class. It just seems to, the McLaren just seems to suit him. It's going to be interesting to see if Emil Spendell and people like that can push him hard, because it looks like a few guys were a little bit out of position in the first race at Spa due to accidents and other incidents. So we'll see if they can redeem themselves in this round.
It's going to be interesting to see whether they can redeem themselves. It's going to, these drivers, you know, the ones that were a little bit further down the field at Spa, they have got a chance. It's a different racetrack here, so drivers, you know, it'll be interesting to see whether or not they perform better. I mean, this track, it's very flat. You do get those crosswinds on certain sections of the racetrack, but it looks as though overall that the field has shaken up itself a little bit. Confirmation now, Norby Kiss will be starting heat number 1 from pole position. Christian Zimzak will be starting in 2nd position, Enzo Benito in 3rd, Max Delorco in 4th, Evan Maillard in the 5th position, Dave Geelink in 6th, Emil Spendell in 7th, Philip Hildebrand in 8th. And then you've got Glatzel and Girac rounding out your top 10. And you have to say, overall, that is a very strong top 10, Rob.
It's going to be a fantastic race into the first corner with all of those guys. Pretty brave races. Will make the pass if they feel the opportunity is there. So, looking forward to this. It's going to be great.
But for Sven Glatzel, actually, he did a 1 minute 46.4 in practice. He was remarkably slower than that in his qualifying. He only did a 1:47.0, and it does show, you know, when yes, you have 4 time laps, but in reality, you're only probably going to use 2 or 3 of them. And for Glatzel, he just wasn't able to get that car working under pressure in a qualifying lap.
Some drivers just don't qualify well. You know, they beat themselves up about it. Oh, I've got to be quick. I want to start on the 2nd or 3rd row. You know, they put too much pressure on themselves, and they might not make massive mistakes, but it'd be, you know, a late apex or a little twitch on the power, or getting on a noisy pedal too early and losing a 10th, and maybe just felt the pressure that way, and, you know, small little mistakes added up to, you know, going a little bit slower than he did in practice.
And there all also are drivers who just simply don't care about qualifying at the same time as well. I mean, one of my good friends, Tim Doyle, who races in the IndyCar, he's never a driver who cares about qualifying. He knows, you know, a top 10 would be good, but he always puts most of his effort into his racing. And when you consider the fact that a number of these drivers, people like Max Delorco, for example, are also racing in the ISM.com World Championship Grand Prix Series, you've got to balance your time. And when you've got to come up with competitive qualifying setup, and arguably 2 setups to work in the race, it's, you know, one of them's got to give. And I think for some of these drivers, the qualifying was the first one to give up.
Exactly. Most people concentrate on the race, especially around Silverstone with this car. The same old trait with the McLaren, tyre heat. You know, they're trying to get their race sets to keep their tyres cool, you know, for the sprint racing, because they want to push the car hard. So maybe more work's gone into that rather than a 1 lap blast setup.
So we give you qualifying confirmation once again. We'll get the full results up on your screen. It will be Norby Kiss starting heat number 3 of the PolarGT $1,000 Cup from pole position, a time of 1 minute 46.210. And you have to say, look, that gap 4 tenths per second between himself and Christian Zimzak. I mean, yes, Sven Glatzel was slower in qualifying than he was in practice, but still, Norby Kiss, you have to say, he hooked that lap up perfectly.
He did. He's caught every apex. You know, just 4 tenths that's quite a big gap. You know, but don't forget these cars are all equal cars, which makes the series so great. You know, it's down to driver talent. There is setup involved, yes, but Norby's hooked it up with a great lap round the Northamptonshire countryside. And
we've just had a look through the stat books, actually. Coming into this race, the fastest qualifying lap, the official world record, that is held by Enzo Benito with a time of 1 minute 46.492. So Norby Kiss smashes that record unofficially. Of course, all times in PolarGT are unofficial, unfortunately, but for the 2nd week in a row, drivers in PolarGT are smashing pretty well established now, world records.
Yeah, it's down to the competition. Everyone wants to do well, so they work hard. It was the same, obviously, with the predecessor series, which I was involved in. The teams work so hard during the week. Every spare moment they're getting, they're working on sets. They're helping the slower drivers out, which in turn makes the quicker drivers quicker because they're finding small little elements of the track where they can go quicker, and just they're just on the pinnacle, ready for this.
They are ready for this indeed, and we are only about 7 minutes away from the first of today's heat. Today's heats. That's the one I'm going to put my mouth in eventually, I promise. But right now, shut up, yeah, he's laughing at me in the background. Right now, just having a look at Dave Geenan. Of course, he was very good in heat number 2 last time out. Today, I'm a little bit concerned by Dealing starting in that 6th position. He's got Evan Maillard starting alongside him in the 3rd row. And he's kind of thereabouts, but as soon as you get back into the 4th or 5th row, that's really where the action is going to start getting a little bit more bumping and banging.
There will be definite door banging happening, and Evan's no stranger to door banging, so it's going to be great into the first corner. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait for it. Can we not speed it up so we can go live?
Not yet. We have to, give you only a chance to. But don't forget, you can keep in contact with us on Twitter throughout the course of this race. Use the hashtag PolarGT on Twitter if you are a twit, I believe it's what they're called. But you can also keep in contact with us on Facebook, facebook.com/GlacierTV. Alternatively, in the live stream chat as well. Big shout out to Just van der Heuvel and Eagle Sandfield. They are getting ready to sit down and watch today's race. And in fact, we've got Jarno Matikainen up here. So Jarno, how's your qualifying been? How bad is bad? I mean, you got in 36, so you've qualified once again. Arguably better than it was 2 weeks ago at Spa.
Yeah, I know. What do you find the most challenging aspect about this track?
So that'll be the Beckett complex then towards the start of the lap. And for all of you who are looking at the pictures, we have pictures. And don't forget, Jarno Matikainen as well will also be streaming his onboard race as long as he is alive in it. We can do that by going to GlacierTV.com. But Jarno, where do you think you're going to finish in heat number 1? Of course, top 20 will get him into the reverse grid.
Well, good luck with that, Jarno, and stay out of trouble in that first corner, bud. It's going to be crazy.
So, we've got about 2.5 minutes left by my watch before we head ourselves down to the grid. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you the rest of the grid up on your screen momentarily. We're going to start it with the 11th position. You just bear with me, there's so many drivers to run through here. In 11th position we'll have Marcus Girat, in 12th Yoni Hagner, in 13th Stefan Mushlar, 14th Petri Kosovar, 15th is Dom Duhan, and 16th will be Anthony Rosselli, 17th Islam Balau, 18th will be Harold Mitchenharder, 19th will be Alexia Loma, and 20th will be Henry Voyak. In the 21st position you will have Chris Dameron Jr. In the 22nd spot you will have Andreas Valentius, 23rd Mark Bird, 24th Kevin Parrish, 25th Tarad Alba, 26th Henry Backman, 27th Ricky Varge, 28th Paul Ilbrink, 29th will be Hero Runside, and 30th will be Sammy Nicolino. The rest of the results hopefully will be up on your screen in a moment's time. I know we're having a little bit of issues bringing them to you. But Rob, we've got ourselves 90 seconds before we go to the grid. What's your final thoughts?
Final thoughts. We are missing one driver. Richie Stanaway's disappeared off to play in big cars or something at some race in Spa. Who knows? Hope he does well there though. But back to this race. First corner.
It's all about
3 wide. I reckon we're going to lose. I'm going to go for 5 cars at the first corner. We're going to go off. 5 cars.
I'm going to be the eternal pessimist. I'm going to say 10. Yoni, pick a number. 1. And of course, Race Control have had a number of words with drivers before the start of this race, and they actually have put a couple of drivers also on warning. We'll bring you an update on them in just 1 minute time. And it's one of those things as well, you know, the drivers, they do get reminded of the fact, you know, you cannot win a race in the first corner. You can often lose it in the first corner, however. And Amanda Palumbo, Brendan Hubbard, Chris Volker Jr. all have a grid penalty and a warning of Nick Vestiges, Sven Glatzel, Matty Ratti, Wolfgang Waldenholt, Richie Stanaway, and James Cullen. They are all on a warning. And that was valid for 3 races which they attend in the series. So, for example, Stanaway, just because he's not here today, doesn't mean that that is going to go away. Checkered flag is out in the air now to signal the end of practice. We're about to head ourselves down to the grid for this race. And, Mr. Cuss, I'd like a winner, please.
Evan Mallard, I'm going to go for. I don't know why. He looked good in practice. He's going to be good. And the Radicals. Obviously, I've got to stop putting my hat on before each race. You know, I'm trying to be impartial, but go Radicals! Woo!
Meanwhile, very quickly, I'd say thank you to ETV Live, etv-eplay.net for all your overall broadcasting needs. Also to iRacing.com, purveyors of the world's most realistic racing simulator, and also to igpmanager.com as well. Grid coming up on your screen very quickly. We're going to be going racing in less than a minute's time. Withington and Rob Cuss in the booth for this race. We are waiting for those lights to go on the iRacing.com gantry. That will be very, very soon. Before that, your top 10 for your grid. One more time. Norby Kiss, Christian Timslak in row number 1. Enzo Benito, Max Delorco, row number 2. Evan Maillard and Dave Geelink in row 3. Emil Spindell, Philip Hildebrand in row 4. Sven Glatzel even, and Marcus Chirac. They will be in row number 5. We are getting ready now for those lights to go on the iRacing.com gantry. They will stay on for between 5 and 7 seconds, and then we'll be racing here at Silverstone for the first of today's heat, and we are away. And I tell you what, then Norby Kiss got a little bit bogged down at the start. Somebody did get a great start. Dave Geelink, also Enzo Benito, he is up into 2nd position as they come down into the corner for the first time. Benito going a little bit wide. This is going to allow Shimzak to try and make a move down the inside. They're all bunching up here. You've got a car speed, that's Max Delorco.
Carnage.
Down as they come down,
carnage,
and there's carnage behind.
Absolute carnage. Near the back of the pack as the leaders stream through the Beckett's complex. Just trying to flick back and see who's involved in that.
Ricky Vardy was involved.
Yeah.
Ricky Vardy, I tell you what, it was a Azura car. It was one of the Azura cars first. And that's Terry Dalman and Kevin Parrish that got together coming down into turn number 1. The 36 machine and the 69 car, they got together as they were checking up for incidents that are happening ahead of them. And then that just caused a chain reaction. I'm trying to see exactly how many cars were involved. Not actually as many as I thought, only about 4 or 5 cars. I could see a GlacierTV Yamaha Kane's car. You would have seen that on the onboard on GlacierTV.com. He was involved on that. Meanwhile, to turn our attention, we've got Marcus Chirac off the racetrack there down at Club Corner. We've got Sven Glatzel off the racetrack as well. They're 3 wide. Chris Daniel Jr. is looking down the middle as they work themselves down into the Abbey chicane. We'll catch up with your race leader. That is still Norby Kiss right now. Enzo Benito in the 2nd position. Max Delorco in 3rd. Christian Shimzak in 4th. And we've got a spinner as well. I believe that is Alexi Loma who has spun his race car. But it's calming down slowly. Got yourself a 6-car breakaways. Chris Diamond Jr. just gets tugged there, and it gives a little bit of a return push there to Marcus Chirac in the battle for the 9th and 10th position.
Some classic door banging in the mid-pack, as you come to expect with these cars, all trying and get up front as quick as they can. I mean, some great racing from the first 10-15 cars through Woodcote at the start. Sorry, through Cox at the start was. I don't know, there was a few 3 wides, the door banging all over the place as the leaders stream round across the start.
Tell you what, Marcus Chirac has got himself a 3rd bump on the rear there by Chris Daniel Jr. Something has happened between these 2 drivers, and they are not best pleased with each other right now. They're battling for 12th and 13th positions on the racetrack, and Chris Daniel Jr. is just reminding him every corner almost, hey, I'm still here. Hey, you might have done something for me earlier on, and now I'm going to make you suffer for it. Meanwhile, Alexi Loma is now right down the field. He is in the 28th position, trying to charge his way back up the field. Talk about your race leader momentarily, however. He's got a 1.2 second gap over Enzo Benito. That is Norby Kiss in the number 15 car. Benito has got Max Alorco only about 3/10 of a second behind. Christian Shimshak has fallen to about 8/10 of a second back. Evan Maillard in third, in fifth even, is in that lead pack, as is Dave Geeling, as is Emil Spindell. But Philip Hildebrand has been able to catch up to the rear of that train as well.
Exactly, he's putting a few good laps at the start of the race, you know, two good laps to get himself up onto the back of that pack and see if he sits there. And patience is the key, again, with these cars, we know. So we'll see if he can lap consistently and just without overheating his tyre.
Checking in a little bit down in the mid-pack, you've got Howard Mitchenhauer. He is trying to close up to the rear of this battle with Chris Daniel Jr. and Marcus Girac, the battle for the 12th and 13th positions on the racetrack. Chris Daniel Jr. hasn't been able to find a way past Marcus Girac, but there's a train now, and this is all the way back from about Stefan Muschler, who's in the 9th position, Anthony Waselli in 10th, Petrol Godfrey at 11th, Marcus Girac 3rd, Chris Daniel Jr. 13th, Howard Mitchenhauer in 14th, and Henry Burkhoff in the 15th. They are now your second pack. And they get sprung out as Chris Daniel Jr. is looking down to the inside as they come down into Copse Corner. Will he try and make the pass? Not quite this time, but close there. Daniel Jr. is still looking very racy. It does look as though right now Marcus Girac is holding him up a little bit.
It does. I mean, Chris got a great run. Oh, he's having another look. Oh, just as they're going to Beckett's now through Chapel as they dive down the gears. He's going to be in the toe for the straight, so look for a move down at Stoke.
Of course, the Hank straightaway famous for that kind of crazy and you would have seen that in the track guide had you been able to hear anything. We do apologise one more time for that. But meanwhile, having a look, and is he going to get past? No, he won't. Meanwhile, ahead of them, Petro Cottabara, Anthony Waselli and Stefan Muschler, they are trying to gap those two drivers right now. And Waselli in that 10th position, looking very racy on the rear of Stefan Muschler.
He does. He'll just be biding his time, waiting for a mistake. He's quite a calm and calculated driver. But, you know, the car looks quick as well, so the boys have done a good job with the setup. And he seems to have a spin. Was it Gailey? No,
Dave Geeling and Emil Spindell, they're currently battling for the 6th and 7th position on the racetrack right now. And I tell you what, Spindell, again, looking racing. Geeling, of course, let's not forget, he won a race 2 weeks ago at Circuit Spa Francorchamps, running in the top 10 once again. These two guys are in that lead category of cars. However, Norby Kiss now pulled out a 1.4 seconds advantage over Enzo Benito. And for Norby Kiss, that is important, because now he's got that train from 2nd through to about 8 positions on the racetrack. They are fighting with each other, and while they're doing that, Norby Kiss can just pull out a huge lead. Having a look, we'll try and go on board of Emil Spindell actually, as they work themselves down into the Maggots Beckers complex. This just shows how beautiful the section of this racetrack is. First flick it to the left, use a lot of that curve on the first 2 parts of it. And then you come down into Beckett's, again use a little bit of a curve. You don't want to use too much, however, from the final part of Beckett's, because you need to get yourself a good run into Chapel Corner, this final left-hander, before you come down into the hanging straightaway. And I have to say as well, it does look as though aerodynamically, all of these guys are running very similar packages, because no one's really gaining on anyone at all down the straightaway.
Yeah, it seems the draft is not working as well as we have seen at other tracks, which is very strange. So everyone, as you said, running similar settings for this tricky track. Maybe they're just going for out and out corner speed, you know, to make it easy to drive out of corners and under braking, because you are braking from massive speed in quite a few places on this track, as well as needing to carry corner speed through the complex we just talked about.
And also, Marcus Girac, he was involved, he started this all the way down just after Bridge Corner. Him and, once again, it was Chris Damon Jr. Coming down, they were working themselves out of Bridge Corner. Damon got a very good run. He tried pointing that car down the inside, and I have to say, Girac might have just come across him a little bit there. Both of them spun their cars around. Damon Jr. was able to keep going, however, the damage there to Girac was too substantial. He brought that car down towards pit road to get some repairs to his race car. He is still sat there for the time being, and that's going to be disappointing there for Girac. But himself and Chris Damon Jr., that battle continued. And if you haven't, you know the incident with the driver early on in a race, it always progresses all the way through it. You're not going to give each other room a little bit later on when you're legitimately fighting for position, Rob.
Exactly, the red mist descends over your windscreen if you're having a little bit of door banging with someone, especially if you feel very harshly wronged, which seems to be the case. So the battle just gets harder and harder, and you have to be ready to move out the way in case that they decide to stick up the inside.
Checking in with Christian Shimczak right now. He is running in the 4th position on the racetrack. He's got himself half a second from Max Delorco in front. He's also got a half-second gap to Evan Maillard behind him. And he's one of those drivers right now who, again, I've got a feeling if you have a look at his lines, Rob, he's not pushing that car at all. He is waiting till the second half of this race. I mean, we're not even 10 minutes into this race yet. I've got a feeling he's just holding his fire for the time being, knowing the fact that Delorco has been pushing like crazy to try and get past Enzo Benito in that battle for 2nd and 3rd position. And Shimczak is running very, very clean lines right now.
Exactly. He's just sitting there waiting, let the car in the front do the work. As you say, Max is trying so hard to get up to the back door of Enzo, and Christian is just driving nice and smooth, keeping his tyres cool, waiting for maybe the last 10 minutes of the race.
Sorry, got to interrupt you. There's Stefan Copland's involved in a big battle, and also Custom Volker Jr. has gone off. This is going to allow James Cullen to look down to the inside. He thinks Better Roberts to come down to the average game, but meanwhile Stefan Copland has now got Alexei Aloma looking down to his inside, and Aloma will complete the pass and move Aloma now up into what is essentially 20th position, no, 24th position on the racetrack. Stefan Copland actually started this lap. He's lost 4 positions in this lap alone. James Cullen and Christopher Volker Jr. have both been able to get past. And it's that stage of the race as well, you've got to start thinking about that top 20. In that top 20 right now is Scott Bircher. However, he is going to get hunted down by a pack of wolves very, very quickly. He's got Tobias Krenzi now just right behind him. He will try and go to the point, but you've got 2 fast drivers in Custom Volker Jr. and Alexei Aloma. They've got a chance of getting into that top 20, and then they could be favourites for heat number 2.
Exactly. I mean, for heat number 2, that 20th position, you start on pole. You've got. It's so important to hold on to that, but he's got so many good drivers around him as well. It's going to be hard work, and 20 minutes to go as well. Well, 19 minutes to go. So.
To run through your top 10, then your race leader is still the number 15 car of Norby Kiss, Enzo Benito in 2nd, Max Delorco in 3rd, Christian Shimczak in the 4th position, Evan Maillard in 5th. Dave Gillick in 6th, Emil Spindal 7th, Philip Hildebrand in the 8th position. They are your front pack of cars. And then you have Stefan Muschler in 9th and Anthony Pastelli running out your top 10. As Tobias Krenzi right now is looking very racy. He's going to try and put the car to the inside as they come down to Club Corner. In fact, he does. A very late break there. What he does is he forces Bircher all the way down to the inside for the second part of Club. Now he's going to get a very good run out of it. You see, he's almost right behind him already. Already Bircher is having to go defensive as they work themselves down this short straightaway down into the average cane. Will Krenzi try and take down the inside? No, he won't. But down the inside there goes Volker Jr. And as we saw at Spa before, you do one thing and all of a sudden you're on the wrong line for the next corner. As also Alexei Aloma goes past James Cullen. They're going to be too wide as they come down now into Brooklyn's corner. And Aloma is charging. But Volker Jr. is hugely charging as well right now.
Exactly. He caught Tobias sleeping, basically. Tobias was like trying to line up a move on Scott, and there was a gap, and Volker Jr. just stuck it in there and made it stick. And I think Alexei Aloma he's not going to sit back for too long. He'll be on the back of these 3 very, very quick.
Meanwhile, it looks as though Alexei Aloma really is charging it now in that number 13 car. He's got himself about 7/10 of a second to gain over Tobias Krenzi. He's now in the 22nd position. But this battle, if you get to the lead of this train, you're in 20th position. As simple as that. Scott Bircher is holding on for dear life ahead of them. They are catching a little bit. Somebody Nevis Salo even. Meanwhile, Max Delorco has also dropped down to the 7th position. We'll come back to that in one moment, because I want to stay with this 20th position battle for the time being. Samo Nelson Lino did a 1:49.0 last time by. Bircher lost around that last lap, but that was because of all the fighting. If they string it together, they could actually catch up to the 19th position. That's going to make things even more interesting. But to turn our attention to Max Delorco in that number 14 car, one of the most popular drivers in the WCS, also in PolarGTs. He goes sideways there as he's really, really having to hassle that car right now. He did a 1 minute 52.576 that last lap. I'm wondering if he's got any damage to that car, Rob, because it really isn't turning properly right now.
It does not look very nice to drive. It looks like a stegosaurus looking for a cookie jar. It's horrible. Either he's pushed it so hard that his tyres are completely overheated, or he, as you say, he might have picked up the damage with contact earlier, but it doesn't look great. It looked decent going through there, but we'll see what it looks like coming through the complex, through Beckett's, Maggots and Chapter.
Well, yeah, he did a 1 minute 48.406 that last time, but compare that to his fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 47.413. I think you alluded to it as well, that Demolko, he pushed him really hard early on in the race, and that might have caught up with him already. Meanwhile, we're having a look at the two cars ahead of him. That is Dave Geeling and Emil Spindell, still battling for the 5th and 6th position on the racetrack. Spindell is looking very close to the rear of Dave Geeling as they come down into the third corner. He gets a very good run through the corner, actually. Let's see. But the car ahead always can get onto that gas that half a car length earlier. Spindell not able to make the move down to the inside for club.
No, but it's got him right onto his boot lid. So we could have a move into the Abbey chicane if he sits behind him and just sits in his draft. We'll see how the cars go. He's got a good run. As they come up to the chicane, will he show him his nose? No.
Very close between these two drivers on the racetrack. It does seem as though they're not able to get the job done on the racetrack right now. Battle for 18th and 19th positions on the racetrack. They are going too wide right now, also down into club, and that is between Nisalo and also Paul Ilmbrink. And it does look as though that Nisalo has lost that position once again to Paul Ilmbrink in the battle for 19th position. But Kasabe Volker Jr. now up into the 20th position, that all-important 20th position. In 21st is now Scott Bircher. Alexei Aloma has been able to get himself now up into the 22nd position. So that fight is far from over. Having a look now, this battle right now we've got for 11th and 12th position, Anthony Rosselli and Howard Mitchenharder. They've been separated by no more than about 0.3 of a second these last 2 or 3 laps now.
Exactly, both lapping very consistently. I don't know whether they're just trying to gap the cars behind. I guess they seem to be working together and not fighting too much. But yeah, it's that time in the race where it's right. I've had a charge for a bit. It's just a lap. Try not to push too hard. And generally that makes you quicker, and it makes you catch up with the car in front because you're not actually trying. You're just cruising.
Meanwhile, Scott Bircher there, it looks like he has lost another position. He's actually got, I'm trying to look actually, Scott Bircher, Stefan Coppens is battle for 24th, 25th right now. So Bircher really has fallen back, and he's going to be on offline as well, as he's going to have John Maloney going past. So Scott Bircher, after struggling to stay in that top 20, now all the way down into the 26th position. And this is one of the things I think in the next 5 minutes we're going to see. Guys whose tyres are going to fall off the cliff. It's Chris Damron Jr. working with Henry Backman right now. And Damron Jr. has fallen out. Chris Damron Jr. just runs into the back there of Henry Backman as they work themselves now into club.
Yeah, obviously got caught late on the brakes and just slid into it. But Chris Damron Jr. is a hard charger, so you know he's having another go. He's caught him back up going through the Abbey chicane and coming through bridge now. He's going to be on the back door as they go into the slower section, so maybe try another pass. Maybe look to the outside.
And Alexei Loma has also been able to get past Tobias Krenzi, so he's now up into the 21st position in that continuing battle for the last of the top 20. But Damron Jr., his front end is all battered up already. We are a total of, we're about just after halfway past in this race right now. We have ourselves a total of 13 minutes and 20 seconds remaining on the play clock. And we've been looking at the battle between Damron Jr. and Henry Backman. But what this is able to do is allow Paul Ilbrink to close up just a tiny bit, but also drivers like Dom Duhan and Andrew Salentius to pull away a little bit as well on the racetrack. And unfortunately for a couple of these guys, they are right now in no man's land. Turn our attention back to your race leader momentarily, Norby Kiss in the 15 car. We haven't really talked about him much in this race. Last time by, Norby Kiss did a 1 minute 47.838. Enzo Benito, a 1 minute 47.831. They're just 7/1000th of a second separating these two drivers on the racetrack right now.
both driving out their skins, but both driving seems to be just in their limits. Not they don't seem to have cooked the tyres. They don't seem to have any drop off them. I mean, they're pulling away from the rest of the field. Well, the rest of the field seem to be in their individual battles rather than, you know, knuckling down and trying to catch the guys in front up.
Well, I think at one point you had Max Delorco was kind of pulling the likes of Christian Chimjak and Evan Maillard around with him, and whilst Benito was having to defend heavily from Delorco, he wasn't really able to set his sights on Norbert Kiss. Now it's just the two of them battling for the race here. It'll be interesting to see what happened between those two drivers over the course of the next 3 or 4 laps. But Petr Kotovar moved himself up into the 9th position on the racetrack. He needs to get himself past Stefan Muschler. So Muschler now down into the 10th position on the racetrack. Kotovar is not a lot left he can do now. He's got himself a 7.5 second gap to Philip Hildebrand, who's running in the 8th position. But meanwhile, turning our attention back to Volker Jr., and this is the battle for the 20th position right now, and they have caught Samuel Nelson-Arlo and also Paul Ilbrink. So I said that if these guys settle down, they'll catch up, and well, they've caught up, and Alexia Loma right now in that 21st position is not making any inroads.
Yeah, it's quite surprising he's not making any inroads, but the two guys in front are flying as they're quite close going through turn 1, coming up to Maggots, Beckett's, and then Chapel. So we'll see how they look like they're closing on Paul as well through that section. So I don't know whether he's cooked his front tyres a little bit. Small mistake that's going to allow the pass. Go straight up the inside, and it'll be see you later. And
that is now going to put the number 33 car down into that magical 20th position. And also, you're right there, Paul Ilbrink. You know, I said that cliff will hit at some point. With 10 minutes and 40 seconds left on the play clock, we are getting to that point where those tyres are going to fall off the cliff. That last lap, Alexia Loma is going to need to gain, in half a lap, he's going to need to gain 8 tenths of a second whilst that pass was going on. And it's kind of increasing a little bit right now. But for Loma, now the fact that, you know, Volker Jr. is up into 19th, this is perhaps his best chance to close up to the rear of Nimisalo, because if he doesn't, he's going to be starting Heat 2 in 21st position, and that is the last place to start the race.
Exactly, straight slap bang in the middle of the pack, and with the quicker guys wanting to come through as well, and it's you know, he's going to be in the middle of the quicker guys that are going to be dicing. So we all know what turn 1's like of Heat 2. Very entertaining for us, not so great for the drivers that are involved sometimes.
Indeed, yeah, and race control always keeping a very close eye. I'm sure there'll be a couple of penalties coming up from the first lap of this race as well. Just to give you an update on the Tyrese, Ben Glatzel is out of the race, Hal Brunson out of the race, Ricky Vaj and Yoni Hagner, Iso Tunenhen, and also Jana Matikayan are out of the race. Tara Delberg right now is running but scored 3 laps down. Tom Parrish is running but scored 2 laps down. Marcus Durack is 1 lap down. Meanwhile, having a look at Henry Backman, he has just been passed by Chris Damon Jr. So eventually Damon Jr. is going to need to get past, but it took him a long time to do so.
Yeah, it took him quite a few laps to sort of size him up and wait for the perfect opportunity, but he's made it stick, and he seems to be pulling away. And let's see if he can catch up to the back of the group in front, which consists of Dom Dewan, Orgis, Valentigius. Sorry if I pronounced that completely wrong, but I probably did.
He did it right, apparently, so well done. But Dom Doohan is the next victim now for Chris Damon Jr. He's only got himself 8 minutes and 37 seconds left to do that, though. But Damon Jr. in clear air, he's been very good. I just don't think he's got the car. That car seems to tighten up quite a lot on him as soon as he runs into traffic.
Yeah, he's got a lot of damage as there's a battle for Alexia Loma versus Nessim Salo as well, so we're going to flick to that quickly. But yeah, Damon Jr. in clear air, he can drive good lines, he's more than capable. So we'll see if he can catch him up. Should be able to.
Alexia Loma, he has got a 1.7 second by my watch he's got to catch over the next 4 laps on the racetrack. It looks like he will at least catch him up. But even more interestingly, if Aloma does catch him and pass him, there's no one else he will really be able to get up to. So for Aloma, he could well still start this race in pole position. We'll keep you up to date with that. I want to turn our attention right now to Evan Maillard and Dave Geelan, because they have been very closely separated on the racetrack the last couple of laps. And Evan Maillard last time by did himself a wrong thing there. Evan Maillard was able to do himself a 1 minute 48.138 last time by. Dave Geeling lost himself a bit of time, but Geeling, he closed very easily up to about 4 tenths of a second back, but then he always seems to catch Maillard at the wrong point, which hurts him for about 3 or 4 corners.
Yeah, if the car in front just takes you on, sometimes when you catch him, sorry about that, so you catch him so quickly, you end up braking late or locking up your wheels, and you lose time to the driver in front. But the INX Racing car looks
Dom Doohan, sorry, this is the reason why we're talking there. Dom Doohan looked down to the inside of Andres Valencias. He's always going to look down to the inside once again through club. Dom Doohan right now, of course, team manager for Team Redline. He is looking very racy in that number 40 car as it themselves down to the average king once again. He's not going to make the move this time. Oh my god, that's close to Valencias going sideways. That is going to allow Henry Boyd up there so far. And Dom Doohan is right there as well. So it's a three-way battle right now, and these cars need to just keep it on the racetrack because they've only got themselves 6.5 minutes left to go. They, you know, even where they finish right now, they're going to have themselves a good starting position for Heat 2.
Exactly, as they're going too wide. Oh, is he going to look around the outside? He could go around the outside, backs it off a little bit to get the cutback maybe. No,
you can't go
get the drive out the corner.
You can't go around the outside of Luffield because the car on the inside can always get the better power. On the outside, you are waiting an eternity to get the power down. Just as the way the corner tightens up a little bit at the end of the lap. But meanwhile, that battle for 20th and 21st position, he has now caught, Alexi Loma has now caught the 31 machine of Nimi Salo. In that battle for the 20th position, that gap is now down to just 2 tenths of a second as they come down into Cops Corner once again.
Yep, as they go through Cops and they're heading up to Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. And Alexi's car looks as though it's got a turbocharger as he goes up the straight into the complex, just tucks it.
Yeah, I was about to say, all of these cars have turbos on them, but meanwhile, Loma's now
an extra, alright, a supercharger there, boys, a supercharger.
But meanwhile, as they work themselves down the hangar straight away, both Aloma and Nimi Salo got themselves a little bit sideways as they came out of Chapel Corner. Aloma's setting him up to look down the inside, down into Stoke Corner. He's not going to get the job done, but once again, if he can get a good run through this corner, he'll have the chance to make the move down into Club, which of course is the next corner on the racetrack. He's looking down to the inside already. Will he try and make the move? Not quite. And for Loma, he knows he's got to be careful right now just to make sure he gets through these guys okay. But also, interestingly, it looks as though one of the cars ahead of him has fallen off the pace a little bit, and that is Pesca Volker Jr. He's not really. He's lost touch to Paul Lilbrey in 18th position.
Yeah, he's dropped. Maybe he's slid off the track and we haven't seen it, but Alesky is on a charge. I predict this next lap he'll go around him, but I don't know where. Maybe into Stowe. I think it'll set him up.
I think he might try and do it down the inside of Maggots, actually. In fact, he might try and do it right now as he's going to coming into Luffield Corner. And now he tries to do the cut under, looking down to the inside in Luffield. He's going to go a little bit wide there. He's got to be careful. He's got to get his lines right. So many of these corners, especially at the end of the lap, one apex leads into another. But we have got ourselves exactly 4 minutes left now on the play clock. So we've got ourselves 3 laps remaining in this race. And for Aloma, he is keeping on this for the time being, so of course, whoever comes home 20th will be starting Heat 2 from
he's
the
gone massively
first
wide.
position. He has gone massively wide. He can't gain the position if he does that. He has to back out the throttle there. It just looks as though he went wide. He cannot gain a position if he goes on the outside. Now he can try and do it again. He's got a good run down into Beckett's. Now he's going to get a perfect.
Here we go. Here we go.
Down the outside, he should go. He's going to stay in that draft.
It's going to be into Stowe.
Yeah, he's going to stay in that draft.
Will he go inside or outside?
Inside. He's ready down.
He's going inside.
Inside he goes. He's going to make that move down into Stoke Corner. It'll be the last of late breakers. And Alexi Loma will now get himself up into that 20th position. There's all the racetrack in the world that he can run wide after. But while that was going on, Volker Jr. was able to gain a second over those 2 drivers. So Aloma now into 20th with 2.5 laps left to go. I doubt he's going to be able to catch Volker Jr. though.
I don't think so. I think there's just not enough time on the clock for him to do that. He's actually not pulling away from Nassim Nalo. Yeah, I can't even pronounce his name.
Nimi Salo. There we are. Nimi Salo. But you're right.
Thank you.
and then we started down into the average chicane. He was right on the rear. In fact, he almost looks as though he's going to make the move down the inside at Bridge Corner. But Aloma, we'll have to talk to him after the race to see whether he had any damage to his race car, because he goes wide once again, and Nimi Salo could have slided it down the inside there. He thought better of it. But Aloma, this is not the Alexi Aloma that we know and love. I know that Silverstone isn't his favourite racetrack in the world, but again, running wide on the exit of Luffield there, that pushes Nimi Salo wide a little bit in turn. And now that gap is up to about 5 tenths of a second. Aloma will get some breathing space to run it down into Copse Corner once again. Meanwhile, it's not looking as though it's going to happen for Enzo Benito. That gap is 1.2 seconds on the racetrack. Last time by, Enzo Benito was faster, but only by 22/1000ths of a second on the racetrack. And the fastest lap, Norbekis has been faster, but these two have been so equally matched the last 5 laps.
Yeah, exactly. We go to the white flag next time around, but as you were saying, these two are just running in formation, just so equally matched.
They are really,
just driving around, getting put.
Meanwhile, Norby Kiss, he is going to come down into Luffield Corner for the penultimate time. This double apex right-hander. The battle for the race lead, it will come down to the final lap. Who knows, maybe Kiss might make a mistake. This time by, however, the white flag is in hand. There is one more lap to go in the third heat of the PolarGT $1,000 Cup. And you have to say, Norby Kiss really has earned this victory. And that's all the way he did that in the first half of this race.
Yeah, he just drove away from the pack on fresh, just cruised, got into a rhythm nice and early, and just drove away from people. So great race, flag to flag, unless he makes a complete and utter mistake, which I'm sure he won't on this lap.
Having a look at Emil Spindell very quickly, he is very close now up to the rear of Dave Geeling in the battle for the 5th and 6th position. He's going to get a good run out of Chapel Corner. Already Dave Geeling is going defensively to work themselves down hanging straight away for the final time in this race. Spindell actually losing a bit of time. Now he's getting it back up. He's going to try and maybe look down. No, he won't. But look at that. He actually touches the rear there of Dave Geeling just a little bit. He was so much better in Stoke Corner than Geeling was. Geeling's tyres are struggling a little bit. We see Spindell perhaps look down to the inside, try to dummy down into Club Corner. Again, under braking, Spindell is so much better than Geeling right now. We'll stay with this in the next corner or so before we go back to have a look at Norby Kiss. But he goes a little bit wide. They both run over the Vodafone line a little bit there as they work themselves down to the Abbey chicane for the final time. This is about for the 5th and 6th position. We'll give you an update if anything happens in the last couple of corners. Chris Damron Jr. as well. There is a spin. Damron Jr. is off. He needs to get that car back on the racetrack if he wants to stay within the top 20. Right
and
now,
Henry Virok is off as well.
Virok is off, but meanwhile, Norby Kiss into Luffield for the final time. He is going to come out of Luffield. He's got one more corner left to go. That is Woodcock Corner. Norby Kiss is going to get his first victory in the PolarGT $1,000 Cup, extending his lead in the championship. Benito will come home in the 2nd position. Christian Shimshak will come home in the 3rd spot. Evan Maillard lost out a little bit there on the final long couple of corners. Geeling in 5th, and Spindell not able to do anything in the 6th position. Max DeLorco in 7th, Philip Hildebrand in 8th, Petty Cotabara in 9th, 7th Mushla in 10th. And it looks like Anthony Waselli will be able to stay ahead of Howard Mitchenharder in the battle for the 11th and 12th position there on the last lap of the race. Chris Diamond Jr. giving you an update. He did get that car back onto the racetrack. He's battling right now, but he is ahead of the drivers who are in the top 20. Some of them, as Andres Valentius, he crashes there as he comes to the start-finish line. It looks as though that he just turned that car a little bit too early, smashed it into the wall. He might have lost position there on the last couple of corners. In fact, he stopped just before the start-finish line, just after the start-finish line. Thankfully, Dom Duham was able to come home in the 14th position. Henry Backman 15th, Chris Diamond Jr. in 16th, Paul Ilbrink in the 17th position, Xavier Volker Jr. in 18th, Alexia Loma 19th, and Henry Virok comes home in the 20th position then.
Yep, comes home after his, I think he had an altercation with Mr. Damron Jr. So that's why they both went off, but he's going to start on pole, which is going to make it very interesting.
It is row number 1, Henry Vorak and Alexia Loma. That is going to be a hugely entertaining front row to watch. To run through your final confirmations, then we'll do that in just a moment, as the last couple of drivers are working themselves. Petri and Poya, who is in the 31st position, the last car on the lead lap, now coming past the start-finish line, so we can give you now final confirmation of the results. Norby Kiers in first, Enzo Benito in second, Christian Shimczak in third, Evan Maillard in fourth, Dave Gienig in fifth, Emil Spindell seventh, Max Delorque in eighth, Philip Hildebrand in ninth, Petri Kotavara, Philip Hildebrand in 8th, Petri Kotavara in 9th, and then Stefan Muschler in the 10th position. Anthony Rosselli in 11th, Harold Mitchenharder in 12th, Andreas Valentius in the 13th position, Dom Duhan in 14th, Henry Backman in 15th, Chris Damrow Jr. in 16th, Paul Ilbrink 17th, Xavier Volker Jr. in 18th, Alexia Loma 19th, Henry Verruck in the 20th position. That will be your inverted 20-car field for heat number 2 today, and then Nimisano will start in 21st position. He will be the first car to start as they finish. In 22nd, Tobias Krenzi. 23rd, James Cullen. 24th, Stefan Coppans. 25th, Istvan Ballard. In 26th, is Scott Bircher. In 27th, Stefano Leniotto. 28th, Mark Warmington. 29th, John Maloney. In 30th position is Yamari Ripinala. And then 31st, the last car on the lead lap is Petri Poya. The number of cars scored laps down. You had Marcus Girat, Kevin Parrish, and Jana Matikayan scored 2, 3, and 5 laps respectively. And then Tara Dalberg out of the race. Isto Tonen out of the race. Juni Hagner out of the race. Ricky Varge out of the race. Yuno Rassan out of the race. And Sven Glatzo out of the race as well. Rob, talk.
Well, yeah, so you can have a drink of water. Basically, what a great race. Start to finish, Norby Kiss out on his own, class of his own. But can he do it in race 2, coming through the pack? Let's see how he copes with the traffic, because he had quite a free run that time. Same with Enzo. See how good they are coming through the supposedly slower cars, but they're not that much slower. So that'd be an interesting battle. But Alexia Loma starting on the front row, I think he might check out. He's got to be a favourite for race 2, surely.
He really has got to be a favourite. I mean, Aloma has good speed, and he's got top 10 finishes in both Proto Ice and PolarGT before. However, it did look as though he had some issues with keeping those tyres under control. And as I always say in Heat 2, you put more pressure on the cars and on the drivers because of the fact that you're racing more rather than just simply hot lapping.
This is true, but he's good at driving smoothly when he's out in front, so we'll see how he gets on.
So we're actually going to have a chat with the driver who will be starting heat number 2 in the 2nd position. Alexia Loma, don't forget you are live, no swearing please, but come home in the 19th position in heat number 1.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I got some position on the start, and there was some mayhem in the whale and club, so I was pretty good there. Like almost top 10, but then I failed in Abbey and spun and had to fight back to the top 20.
Was there any damage to your race car at all? Because it did look as though that, you know, you were struggling to perhaps get onto the power a little bit.
Well, I just sucked.
Honesty as always there from Alexia Loma, but Rob, I know you got a couple of questions for him.
Exactly. Starting on the front row for race 2, do you think he can win it?
Yeah, I hope so. There's at least Xapa Voluka Jr. starting right behind me, so he was much faster than me. But if I can hold him up, and I don't know what about Henry's pace. I was hoping for the pole. I was actually thinking about letting him by and getting the pole, because it's always you can decide when to start when you are on pole.
Yeah, that's crucial because it's a rolling start. So, also my second question, being you're Scandinavian, what's your favourite ice cream?
Oh, vanilla.
Good choice, good choice. So this is what you need to do to start on the front row of a PolarGT race: is eat vanilla ice cream, as proven by Alexia.
You can tell we're scraping the barrel for interviews here today. But Alexi, good luck in heat number 2. You'll be starting from the 2nd position.
Thank you.
But to talk about that heat number 2, one of the important things that we always have to talk about is that rolling start. And that is going to be so critical. These drivers having to get onto the gas and also survive turn number 1 at speed.
Indeed, it's rolling starts. How many cars do you think are going to get damaged in this one? But the leader has to control the pace well enough, and also time his jump. He's got to time his throttle control like perfectly to get a good, just good enough to back the field up and then go.
And very quickly, we're going to have a quick chat with the sexiest guy ever to wear a pink shirt, Patrick Ottavara. Hello.
Hi, mate. How are you?
I'm not too bad. You got yourself a top 10 finish, so well done.
Yeah. It was so easy, top 10, that yeah. Let's move to the next race.
Next race, inverted field. You'll be starting in the 11th position. You've got some fast guys ahead of you. You've got Alexia Lomi, you've got Volker Jr., Dom Duhan, Anthony Waselli, Howard Mitchenharder. All fast guys, and also Stefan Muschler as well. I mean, how many positions do you think you can gain up in Heat 2?
5.
5?
Yes.
Okay, there we are. Thank
That was
you
a
very
fast
much.
answer.
We'll
But
talk
with-
to you.
I think you do better than.
If Alexi makes mistake and we will battle for the position, I think that will be hard racing then. Alexi remembers what happened at Spa, so I think he will have his revenge this time.
Uh-oh. But Patrick Ottavara, good luck in Heat number 2, starting from the 11th position.
Yeah, thank you.
So, very quickly, we're going to have to go to the good old-fashioned PolarGT waiting screen. But Will Vincent and Rob Carr still here. We'll be ready to go racing in about 9 minutes' time for Heat number 2. Looking forward to it.
Yes, the fun heat. Oh, we have Don Doom just joined us for a quick interview to cut me short, which is great because I'm, monotone Rob is awesome.
Well, Dom, I've got a first question. Rumour has it that you might be gate crashing a party in a month's time. Is that correct?
Maybe. Depends how the stars are aligned.
You know that I'm
Depends.
the only Englishman allowed in Finland. You're only allowed to have one at a time.
Oh,
I'm the only one allowed.
No, you're wrong there. I had a special pass since '98.
Oh, okay. But
So,
race-wise, it's been a pretty interesting race for you.
well, actually, disastrous. I really choked in qual, about half a second off my PB, and in race, I once again awful start, but I got absolutely T-boned in turn 1, and was driving a banana car. But still, as soon as you kind of drive a couple of laps and get used to it, it's still good fun. But ended up kind of where I started in 14th, so kind of good and bad.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's good
A
racing.
banana
I mean,
car.
that's the main thing. Yeah, absolute banana car. Thing turned left better than turn right, so interesting.
That's handy. Yeah, but that was fun to drive. Are you missing your teammate Richie Stanaway right now?
Richie's gallivanting somewhere else. I don't know what he's doing. Some race or something at Spa. But yes, always miss extra teammates who could be fighting up there for the podium. Thank God Christian was pulling it out the bag there, because I'm pretty pleased for him to have a good result after last race.
You going to come back
Yeah,
and
he
talk to us
tried.
after Heat 2?
Sorry?
You going to come back and talk to us after Heat 2?
Oh yeah, how could I not resist?
Ah, I know that. You've got to learn some finish as well, so we'll try and do that afterwards.
Okay, I might get banned if I use that though.
But we have got to let you go. We're kind of running short of time for interviews, but we'll talk to you a little bit more after Heat number 2. Dom, good luck in the second heat. It's going to be crazy, that rolling start down into Copse Corner, so be careful.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
No worries. And in the meanwhile, we'll be right back after this very, very pretty PolarGT video. So, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to welcome you back for what will now be the fourth heat of the PolarGT $1,000 Cup here, live on GlacierTV. Will Vincent and Rob Cuss here in the booth, along with Yoni Backman on cameras. And we are here at Silverstone, using the Grand Prix layout. This track measures a little over 3.1 miles. Lap record, oh, that's a 1 minute 47.371. We're going to be racing now for 35 minutes on the 17 corner racetrack with a rolling start. So for those of you who missed out last time at Spa, we're going to be with a rolling start this time around. Very quickly, we'd like to say thank you to a couple of sponsors and friends. First of all, ETV Live, etv-eplay.net for all of your oval broadcasting needs. Also to iRacing.com, the purveyor of the world's most realistic simulator, and also to igpmanager.com as well. And Rob, here we go, heat number 2. It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be carnage. Captain Carnage, first corner, I reckon. I almost got it right with 5 cars in the last one, so 7 cars in this are going to go off. Where's your favourite corner of this track, though, Will?
I can't just say one corner. I have to say that, you know, Maggots Beckett's all the way. There we are. Very quickly, going to run through the PolarGT $1,000 Cup prize pool. Don't forget, first place will get themselves $450 in cold, hard cash. Second place, $225. Third place, $125. Fourth place, $75. And $50 for fifth. And then we'll get yourselves an igpmanager.com 6-month membership plus 50 iRacing credits for sixth. IGP Manager bringing new prizes all the way down into the 10th place. And also we've got ourselves a couple of Hard Charger awards and also a couple of Easter egg lotteries as well. All these drivers need to do qualify, turn up, they can win themselves $25 in cash. Simple as that. To answer your question, Maggots and Beckett, yours.
On this layout, bridge. Watching cars go through bridge flat was amazing. It's gone.
Don't forget also, sorry, very quickly, we just had to make sure, to all the viewers who get slightly concerned about the championship standings, they will be updated until after this race. All of standings are official. Of course, there are a couple of incidents that race control need to review, so they will do so after the race. But we are here in the second heat. We've got ourselves a minute and 15 seconds for the checkered flag wave, and this rolling start thing still continues to confuse me, Rob.
Hey, it confuses you. You should be used to it.
It confuses me. It confuses me.
How?
The fact that you know, just starting to turn. I mean, I have no idea what's going to happen. Simple as that. You know, because Cops Corner is so fast, you don't get a braking zone to really spread these drivers out. And then you come down into Maggots. That's not going to spread these drivers out. Beckett isn't going to spread these drivers out. In fact, it's going to bunch drivers even closer together. Hang it straight away, people's going to be drafting off each other. They're coming to Stoke Corner, your first real big braking zone of the lap. And then it's a wide corner, and you won't really funnel down until you get down to the club, and that's where there's going to be even more carnage. Simple as that.
Exactly. So all those elements equal awesomeness. Awesome racing will ensue very shortly. It's going to be fantastic.
So, it does, a little bit, I think. So we're going to run through your grid in about 10 seconds time. Checker flag about to come out. I'm going to look very quickly at Mark Wilmington there in the blue flag racing car. He's struggling for grip right now, Rob.
Which is good because he's not in the race yet, so that's all right. New tyres, new boots, and away he goes. But yeah, his car doesn't look fantastic at the moment. So he could have been trying hard to see what he can do as well. So
true.
It's all right. Fresh rubber for the race, he'll be fine.
So we'll run through now your starting grid for the second of today's heat. Because it's a rolling start, I will talk in rows. Row number 1 will be Henry Verrick and Alexia Loma. Row number 2 will be Kaseba Volker Jr. and Paul Ilbrink. Row number 3 will be Chris Dameron Jr. and Henry Backman. Row number 4, Dom Duhan, Andreas Valentius. Row 5, Harold Mitchenhaler and Anthony Wassadi. Row number 6 will be Stefan Muschler and Petru Kotavara. row number 7 will be Philip Hildebrand and Max Delorco. Emil Spindell, Dave Geeling in row number 8, Evan Maillard and Christian Simjak in row number 9. Enzo Benito and Norby Kiss being the winner of heat number 1. They will start in row number 10. Then someone Nimi Saleh will start in 21st, the first of the cars not eligible for the 20-car reverse grid. Alongside him in row number 11 is Tobias Crenzy, James Collins, Stephen Coppans in row number 12, Isran Barrow, Scott Bircher in row 13, row 14, Pano Laniotto and Mark Warmington, row 15, John Maloney and Jan Mario Rupinala. In row 16 is Petru Piota and Marcus Girac. In row number 17 is Kevin Parrish and Jan KM. Row 18, Terry Dalberg, Yoni Hagler. Row 19, Ricky Vaj and Hugh Ransom. And then in row 20, all by himself, is Ben Ratzel. Don't forget, keep in contact with us on Twitter. Use hashtag PolarGT. Don't forget also that you can watch Jan Kane's live on board by going to GlacierTV.com. And also, right about now, we're hitting up the live timing, which will be available for heat number 2. That's brought to you by our friends at the ISOWC. To get that, just go to isowc.org/live.
So as we're rolling out on the pace app behind the Mustang pace car, we'll just cruise round. Drivers must be nervous. Drivers are nervous when it's a rolling start. You know this from IndyCar. What goes through your head as you've done loads of these rolling starts?
Well, the thing is, in the IndyCar, I have other things that's in my mind, but the same principles apply. Have I made sure I've got, my brake balance properly set? Have I made sure, that everything's working? Is my steering wheel okay? Do a couple of weeks, make sure that's fine. In my IndyCar, I always check, is my weight jacket set properly? Are my anti-roll bar set properly? In these, you don't have to worry about that, but still, you always sat there thinking, well, who am I looking at to go? If you're in the top 3 rows, you're thinking, well, I might as well just look at the leader. And when the leader goes, I'll go. If you're a little bit further back, you need to pick a reference point, because you can't look at the leader, but you don't want to look at the car ahead. Because if you look at the car ahead, then you're only going to go when they start going, and you're always going to be slow. If you look 2 cars ahead, there's a chance that you might be able to sweep and get a bit of an advantage. So there's all of these things that goes into your head in a rolling start. More so, I always think, than a standing start, and that adds the extra dimension to it.
Exactly, and what you're alluding to with the people that look a couple of cars in front, are normally the cars further back, because they want to try and gain as many positions as they can on the go hooter, as they say. So we're going to get a proper Will Vincent race start as well.
Do you want a Will Vincent race start? I'll tell you what, if you're going to need to do that, I'm going to have to get a quick glass of water, so you need to talk for 10 seconds.
I need to talk for 10 seconds, so here we go. Coming through Club Corner, rolling up to the Abbey Chicane. Hopefully Will's currently drinking some water now, getting refreshments. He's done that so fast.
And I also had a cocktail in a Starbucks club as well. Which
really?
Yeah.
You just got P1 on water drinking. Congratulations, P1. Your prize. I think there might be a
P1 a little bit later on, to be fair, but we're going into the realms of unreality here. Meanwhile, let's slow it down. Henry Voyak and Alexei Loma, they'll be starting in row number 1. Saber Volker Jr. and Paul Wilburn will be starting in row 2. Chris Damon Jr. Henry Backerman in row 3. Dom Duhan and Andreas Valencias in row number 4. Some drivers to keep an eye out. Philip Hildebrand, he needs to get himself some good points and get back up in the standings. Enzo Benito as well needs to get up the standings. He is starting in the 19th position. He's on the clean side of the racetrack. Norby Kiss, especially at Silverstone, you do have that defined good and bad place to start this race. Norby Kiss will be on the outside coming down into turn number 1. The worst place to be, especially as you're halfway down the field. Kevin Parrish saying good luck from simgarage.com. We're saying good luck from GlacierTV.com. The pace car about to make that hard right turn down towards pit road, and as he does so, Henry Voigt builds up the pace, and the 4th heat of the PolarGT $1,000 Cup here on Glacier TV. It's green. It's a good start by Alexei Loma. They're going to be going side by side as they come down in turn 1 for the first time. We're having a through the field, and Loma will take the lead almost there. Voigt gets a good pass.
Oh, Carnage!
And Carnage is in the rear of the field. We've got Max Delorco. We've got Emil Spindell battling for position there, both off the racetrack. But
this car's
leader, Alexei Loma, is now your race leader.
Absolute carnage. Alessi got a great jump, but the carnage, there's so many people involved in that.
The race. Philip Hildebrand. Philip Hildebrand is out of the race almost here, very early on. His car
we've got another car going.
Then Glatzel is going to be out of the race. Someone in Salo is going to be out of the race. Arno Lanioto, Scott Bircher, Terry Dalberg, Gianna Metakayan, Mark Warmington, all involved in this first lap incident. I'm having a look for Enzo Benito as Ismail Bala right now is battling for position, and this is going to be a very interesting class. We're going to make it happen.
And sorry, further down the pattern is Emma Spindell as well. There's going to be race control. They've just said there is going to be a lot of penalties.
Yep, and Enzo Benito is out of the race as well. So he was looking for some good points. He is going to be out of the race. Norby Kiss is circulating, and I tell you what, Norby Kiss right now, I'm going to get confirmation as this Christopher Volker Jr. is crashed there. He is running on the escape road right now. He went wide and spun that car. He involved actually trying to go down the inside of Bridge Corner with Henry Voyer. Came down, he tagged him there. Both those drivers went off the racetrack, and for Volker Jr. he was able to get back off. But it's carnage going on right now, and I'm having a look to see exactly where Volker Jr. came back onto the racetrack, and he was just around the position there of about Petru Cotabara.
He's in 11th, he's circulating in 11th. What I think actually happened was his sat-nav was updated too soon and he went onto the new part of the track. That's my theory, I think.
So,
it's a bad
race
theory.
control, you know, they say they're going to have to look at a lot of incidents after this race. But the important thing is right now, Alexei Loma, a 2.4 second gap over Chris Diamond Jr., who is running in the second position. It is Paul Ilbrink right now running in third. You've got Dom Duhan in the fourth position, Henry Backwood in fifth, Andres Valencius in sixth, Howard Mitchell in seventh, Emil Spindell in eighth, and Petru Cotabara in ninth. In fact, that's all changing as we speak. Cotabara is now up into the 8th position, as Emil Spindell is now down into the 9th spot. Dave Geeling rounds out your top 10. But this battle for 8th, 9th and 10th position right now is Dave Geeling again on the rear of Emil Spindell. This is action replay from the last race, Rob.
Exactly, it's absolutely crazy. We just missed 4 cars going too wide into the Abbey chicane as they roll down into, sorry, not Abbey chicane, it was the Vale as they come into Abbey chicane now. So we have incidents from lap 1 that will be investigated, so there'll be a few drivers in the naughty corner after this race as the pack flows through the complex. As Kevin
Parrish is very, very strong right now, and he's been trying to make some moves up at the start of this race. And I tell you what, I've seen Kevin Parrish so often in GT style cars. He is very, very good. But right now, Kevin Parrish just kind of turning the cameras over to him, as also Simchak as well is having a great battle right now. But Kevin Parrish has been able to get himself now up into the 24th position. Having a look at see what's something to Simchak, however, and something to him, he's now up into the 16th position on the racetrack, getting past Max Delorco.
Norby Kiss is up to 14th as well. So he's made up quite a few places already, so he's looking to catch up with Joni Hagner and squeeze past him very shortly.
The gap between Alexei Loma and Christopher Jr., that is now down to just 1.6 seconds on the racetrack. Paul Ilbrink in third is also closing up, as is Dom Duhan. We have a pack right now of essentially 18 cars they are charging. And we're trying to have a look now and see. Also, Petru Cotabara there tries to look down to the inside of Howard Mitchell as they came down into Club Corner. And what's been down right behind them as well. Joni Hagner trying to make a look down. He gets a little bit of a bump there from Norby Kiss. Norby Kiss already, though, Rob, up into 14th.
Yeah, I just alluded to that 10 seconds ago. What did you do, Norby? But yeah, it won't be long. I think he's going to cruise past these as Joni Hagner looks. He had a look down the inside, but that allowed Norby to close up, and he's looking to the inside of the fruit bridge. Are you mad?
He almost got the job done though. Look at Norby Kiss.
Yeah, but he's now lost out to Norby.
But Kiss couldn't get that car done, and now Hagner's going to look down to the inside once again. They almost touch. They touch. They go sideways, and Norby Kiss there almost was able to get past both of them. But Joni Hagner there was
Norby fully sided.
He did. He'd go fully sideways there, but Joni Hagner, I mean, let's go back to that. We'll try and get ourselves a replay if we can. He really just kind of turned to the right there and almost took out Volker Jr. And I'd say that really wasn't called for there by Hagner.
No, that is a very, very rough move. So I wonder if the stewards will be looking at that one as well.
I'm sure they would be after the race, but meanwhile, Petri Kotovara, keeping an eye on him right now. He is working on Howard Mitchenhardt in the number 29 cars. They come down the hangar straight away once again. That's how American I am when I keep on saying straight away, but still, they will work themselves down. And Kotovara's got a very good one. Will he try and dart to the right-hand side? Yes, he will, but he's not going to. Now he's going to get in the second base of the corner. He's going to get a good run there. You see Mitchenhardt going a little bit wide. This is going to allow Kotovara. He needs to get a good drive because now he'll be on the outside for the first part of Club Corner. It's going to be the last late breakers. Will Kotovara be able to stay side by side? If he can keep it to the inside, he'll get the run through Club.
He's too wide.
So now he's got the
contact behind as well.
He's got the job
done.
There was
contact between. He did, but just behind that as well, there was Dave Geeling and Tobias with door banging as well.
And of course, we have seen Dave Geeling, and then now he comes down the inside once again into the Abbey chicane. Will Geeling be able to get the job done on the outside line into Bridge Corner? They're not going to stay too wide, surely.
They are staying too
wide. And look at this, they touch a little bit of a wiggle there, but Geeling gets the pass done.
That was brilliant.
That was
balls of steel.
I'm going to go out and say that right now. That's the best pass we've seen in PolarGT this season so far. On the outside
of Bridge.
Yeah.
How does he sit down with balls that big?
I have no idea how he does it, but Dave Geeling there. Now up into the 9th position, and he's going to close down very quickly to the rear of Howard Mitchenhardt. In the battle for the race lead, Alexi Aloma. Now that gap is down to 1.5 seconds to himself and Chris Damon Jr. Paul Ilbrink, though, that 41 car, has got himself up into position. Having a look though, and it looks as though that Spindell is coming back in this battle for 9th and 10th. So this is far from over, and if Spindell can keep it together over the next couple of corners, we know that Geeling's had issues getting out of the corners a little bit here. Now Spindell is going to have to run.
And Ilbrink, sorry to cut up, Ilbrink's got to run down Hangar Straight for P2. He's always going to look almost contact as they go through. He's pushing hard for P2.
Not quite there for Paul.
Quite
close, very, very close. And if these two start battling, that's going to give Alexi that opportunity to build that gap up. It is now up a little bit already because that gap is up. He's gone up by half a second in this lap alone because Chris Damon Jr. has had to start going defensively. Meanwhile, the Pane Lanioto right now, he is battling for position with I believe he should finish to get himself past Mark Warmington. He's now down into the 27th position on the racetrack. So Mark Warmington now down into 27th. Also, you've got yourself right now Sven Glatzel. He's trying to make a move on Kevin Parrish as they work themselves down into the average chicane. Glatzel looking down to the inside, not going to be close enough. The 3 cars ahead of them, that is John Maloney, Huron Ranson and Stefan Mushler. They are battling for 19th, 20th and 21st positions on the racetrack. So essentially, Rob, as we always see in the second heat of the day, plenty of action on the racetrack.
There's a car off the track as well in the left field, and we move to Paul Ilbrink quite quickly as will he look down inside the turn one? There's action everywhere, Will. I can't keep up.
You wouldn't do it into Cops Corner. You would never do it into Cops Corner. That's even scarier place to do it than Bridge, in my opinion.
No. I mean, you know, you go around the outside of Bridge, you can go around the outside of any corner. That's flat.
Good point. Meanwhile, we're having a look at Dom Duhan. We're on board of him momentarily. He's sat in the 4th position, so he's got a very good look at the battle that is going on ahead of him. Ilbrink wasn't able to get the run out of Chapel there to make that move down the hangar straight away. The gap is only 3/10 either side of him. We've got Chris Damon Jr. in 2nd, Dom Duhan in the 4th position. Duhan actually closing up a little bit there on that run down into Stoke Corner. Stoke so famous, of course, as Dave Geeling in the Let's see what's happening with him right now. He's down.
He's going to be inside.
Past with Johanna, and also Spindell getting past there. They're going to be too wide now into the top corner. And again, all Spindell needs to do is stay alongside him through the first part. He'll get the run he needs on the second part. They touch.
They touch.
And Spindell, is he going to get the job done? No, he won't.
He's not giving up.
He's got a very good run on the outside line there, and he will just tuck him behind.
Action everywhere. Norby Kisses, as we move to Norby Kisses goes inside.
He just goes down the inside there. We only had him.
He's gone too wide.
They're
touched. He's in the wall.
Oh my God!
There's carnage there as well.
And that was
Oh, that was Anthony Roselli.
Yeah, I saw
And
a
Evan
Radical's
Maillard.
car. I saw a Radical's car, and it was a GoPro machine there also of Evan Maillard. Those two, they were trying to avoid Yoni Hagner. They could see he was coming back onto the racetrack, and then the two just came together. And it's times like that when you feel for both drivers, because they knew there was something going on. They're both trying to get out of the way, but neither of them really realised what the other driver was doing.
Exactly, just a racing incident. As we go to the replay, it's just what a bad place to do it as well, because you are full chat as you're going through there, as you know, as they pull back onto the track. It's just unfortunate for both drivers.
So, right now, we'll run through your top 10. Alexia Lohman now have a 2.7 gap over Chris Damon Jr. In third place, Paul Ilbing. In fourth is Dom Duhan. In fifth is Henry Backman. Sixth is Andreas Valencius. In seventh is Petri Kotovar. In eighth is Dave Geeling. In ninth is Emil Spindell. Running out your top 10 is Harold Mitchin-Harder.
Ilbrink's really close for P2 as well.
Very close now.
Going into Stowe as they head into the Vale.
For Ilbrink, though, it just seems to be that he's not as good on the brakes as Damon Jr.
Yeah,
we've got someone on the grass in the middle of the straightaway there. Yeah, I was trying to get confirmation, and that was Sven Glatzel.
Our spotter was going mental, and we're trying to keep up.
So Sven Glatzel was onto the grass there on a straightaway. He's running in the 21st position. He's trying to work right now on Kevin Parrish, who's about for the 19th position on the racetrack. You've got Norby Kiss, and Norby's now in 12th position because of those two cars crashing ahead of him. But still, he's not been able to get past Tobias Quenzi these last couple of laps. And now he goes down to the inside, and that is a textbook pass there from Norby Kiss, your championship leader. He's now up into 11th position. His next victim will be Mitchin-Harder. I have to say for Mitchin-Harder, this car just doesn't seem to like the kind of semi-fast corners like Stowe.
Yeah, maybe he's just got no confidence in his car, so he backs off a little bit. But I think Norby will eat him up quite quickly, to be honest. As Paul Ilbrink's still battling for P2. This is a great battle up front.
We're going to keep an eye out on that battle for the time being, as Anthony Rosselli has brought that car down towards pit road to get some much needed repairs to one of the Radical Steel Series cars. Meanwhile, the other Radical Steel Series car of Paul Ilbrink running in that third position. Again, he doesn't get that good run though off Chapel Corner, and it hurts him all the way down the Hanger straightaway. In fact, he's lost himself a little bit of time, and I think he just needs to reassess his game plan right now.
Yeah, maybe he just has to back off and just sit there for a couple of laps, cool himself down, see where Chris is slower, and then work up to, you know, try and make the move where he is a bit slow. The other thing he can't do as well is he can't relax, because he has got a team Redline car behind him, and our spotter's going crazy again.
Yeah,
as Zimzak making a move.
And yeah, Zimzak, he's really been in the picture the last couple of laps. He's on the outside of club corner there. Looks like he will be able to defend that position from Tobias Quenzi.
Look at Yanni behind.
They're not going to make it free wide. You're only hanging it to the outside line here. And with
Yanni
very close. And of course, Hagner's got some damage to his car.
Yeah, he has, but it's not affecting him too much, is he? He's chucking his McLaren around as much as he can to try and gain himself some more championship points.
And Norby Kiss, it looks as though he is still at the head of this pack. He's not really filling out the gap like you'd expect a championship leader to do, but you know, Yoni Hagner, you saw a gap there on the inside line there of Christian Zimzak, but in fact this is Tobias Quenzi ahead of him. But for Hagner, he is running right now in that 14th position on the racetrack with Quenzi ahead of him, and these guys are so closely separated, it is unbelievable. And they are battling for outside the top 10 positions. And they're still doing it. And now Hagner, he's going to get a very good run. He's going to try and look down to the right-hand side as they come down into Maggots, knowing he doesn't want the inside line into the first part. But if you can keep it together, you see he's still trying to work. Doesn't get the job done there into Beckett's. But Hagner trying some very, very interesting places to try and make that pass. And a good run out of Chapel.
He's got a good run now. Yeah, he's got a great run out of Chapel as they head down the Hanger
straight. But Dom Duhan is up to P3, so he's been able to get past. What's happened to Paul Ilbrink? Paul Ilbrink is trying to respond there, but Dom Duhan, you're talking about it there. You know, Redline, they put themselves as the fastest car in the world, but for Yoni Hagner in the 42 car, It looks as though he's been able to get past Tobias Kremsey, but to go back to Dom Duhan, you know, Redline, they call themselves the fastest team in the world, and Dom Duhan is now up into the 3rd position.
Yeah, they do call themselves the fastest team in the world, but they have got one of the fastest drivers in the world, that's for sure. But I'm not sure about the whole team.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, you've got some very fast guys, and you've got some not so fast guys. I'm not name any names there at all. Like Kevin Parrish, this is on the 19th position on the racetrack. He's got a great battle with Sven Glatzel. Glatzel looking down to the inside once again as they come down into Bridge Corner. Thinks a little bit better of it. Will he try to cut him? But he'll be on the outside line now. He's not going to try and make the outside pass here work. He's going to be left 2 corners. But he's trying to make it work on the grass, and he's still going. And now he's going to have the inside line into Luffield, and he might just get that job done. And that is a beautiful pass there as well.
A great move, and also
got
in
it.
front of us. Did he make it? Brilliant. I
Not
switched to
quite.
the battle.
He's going to get it at the line, but not quite. Now he might just get clear into Cops Corner. It's another right-hander. He'll have the inside line. And he will now get the job done there. Oh, and he gets a little bit of a tap in the rear there. And thank you very much from Kevin Parrish. But meanwhile, Petri Kotavara as well. He's going to need to get himself now up into the 6th position on the racetrack, getting past Andreas Valencius. And Dave Dealing now looking down to the inside as they come down into Stoke Corner on the racetrack. And this pass
late on the brakes. Late on the...
He got it though.
Great braking. Super confident on the brakes there and just slid up the inside in a textbook pass. It was very...
But meanwhile, don't forget though that you know, Geelink and that Inex Racing team, they are leading, for example, in the race department STC Championship. So they have got a good MTT pedigree underneath them right now, as well as being represented in the Ocean.com World Championship Series. Meanwhile, the battle for 11th and 12th position, it is between Christian Simjak and Howard Mitchenhardt. And Simjak looking down to the inside, and the average chicane will complete. No, he doesn't. The two come together. Simjak there off the racetrack. And
Yoni Hagner's going to get both.
Go round them, and Yoni Hagner free wide into Bridge. What the hell is this? He's going to complete the pass though. He's talking about ultimate opportunities. That is Yoni Hagner.
Great.
He's still on the outside. He completes the pass. And I think that we're going to have a fight in our hands. The best overtaking move of the day now.
That was pretty good. That was up there, diving through the middle. Hopefully we'll get a replay of Hagner doing that move, maybe from on board. Would be nice, but we'll wait for that replay. It should be with you momentarily.
Yeah, replay is up on your screen. And the thing is, they both went off the track ahead of them. Because Silverstone's not the widest of racetracks as it is. It's only about 3 cars wide. And they come down into Bridge Corner. He splits them. He goes down the outside of one of them, then down to the inside of Mitchenhardt. He gets the pass made as they then come down, and he just... That was a perfect textbook pass there by Yoni Hagner. Really, really ballsy move, and he is now up into the 11th position on the racetrack.
All over the back of the Ilbrink right now. I don't know if Paul's cooked his tyres, but he's not quite as quick as he was earlier on. As Backman's going around the outside.
No, he doesn't.
No, he tried it. He didn't quite get the cut back either, so I don't know whether Paul's suffering from overheated tyres or what, but he's got a freight train behind.
Meanwhile, having a look at Simjak, he is involved in a huge battle right now, in that battle for 13th position with Tobias Kremsey as they come down into Club Corner once again. But meanwhile, Marcus Jurek as well, he is involved in some big battles. He's now going down the outside. He does complete a pass there on Stefan Mushlas to move him up into the 19th position on the racetrack. Your top 10 as it stands: Alexi Loma first, Chris Hammond Jr. second, Dom Duhan third, Paul Ilbrink fourth, Henry Backman in the 5th position, and Petri Kotavara in 6th, Dave Dealingstone, Andreas Valencius in 8th, Oswin Dell in 9th, and now up into the top 10. It's your championship points leader of Norby Kiss. He's now been able to put up a 5-second gap over those battling cars, and it does show, you know, as soon as these cars battle, they are losing about 1.2 seconds a lap, Rob.
Exactly, you get caught up and you can't run your normal lines, and you're late on the brakes, and you're weaving around, you know, trying to defend. You heat your tyres up, and then your car becomes a bit of a pig to drive, to be honest, around this track. So as soon as you get clear air, you're, as Norby's showing, you can just get away. And I mean, Alessia Loma's still maintaining that 2-second gap up front, and we've got, is it 10 minutes left?
We've got ourselves a total of about 13 minutes left on the
15.
race. 15 minutes left, in fact. So we're getting to that point. You know, these guys have been racing. We've got 14 minutes and 15 seconds about now on the play clock. And these guys have already been racing for 20 minutes on these tyres. And as I said in between the broadcasts, you know, in the first heat, you're hot lapping, so you know exactly what your car's going to do. In heat 2, you go offline a lot more, you brake a lot later, you do different things. They're going too wide right now. This is a battle for, I believe, the 6th and 7th position on the racetrack. And this is between Dave Geeling and Petru Kotavara. And Dave Geeling now looking down to the right-hand side as they come down into the average chicane. And normally, the average chicane isn't a big passing opportunity, but we've seen it here today, Rob.
Yeah, it's normally single file through there. You know, every race I've been to at Silverstone myself, you don't really pass there unless you're in a Formula 3 car and you're crazy at the start of a race. But we've seen it a lot today. So you know, drivers are making that passes. Geeling goes up the inside.
He's got the job.
It's going to be on the outside.
But no, Kotavara is coming back for a second ride, the cherry. Yeah. This is what I said before.
Here we go.
The car on the outside always has to get the power later. But still, Kotavara, he's falling behind now. But Kotavara is very close. He's still holding that inside line. He's still hoping to go down the inside into the corner. It's not going to work though.
No, but he might try and get a better run, which he might. He's got a good run up the hill towards Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. So I'd wait in here and just cruise up to the back of him for Chapel and just try and get a better run out. So I think that's the issue. That's the issue that a lot of the drivers have made here today. They try and push too hard in Maggots and Beckett, then they have nothing left by the time they get into Chapel. Kotavara not that good actually for the complex, and this has allowed Dave Geeling to pull that gap up now to 4/10 of a second on the racetrack. Kotavara very good in the draft, however, as they work themselves now down into Stoke Corner once again. Ahead of them, you've got still Henry Backman and Paul Ilbrink battling for position, and Backman now looking down to the inside as they come down into Club Corner. Who's it going to be? Backman not able to get the job done there. Oh, Paul went late on the brakes and he drifted out wide, so it's going to compromise him through this corner a little bit and allow the cars behind to catch up. And we're going to have a six-way battle. A six-way battle for P4.
And Henry Backman there, he had the chance, but Backman has been driving very cautiously. I think he's not been overcooking his tyres. He knows that he normally gets one go.
Geeling right on his gearbox.
Right on the rear.
He's charging hard. He is charging.
Geeling, he thought about looking out to the inside, but for Backman, I have to say, you know, he knows he only gets 1 or 2 opportunities. He's not overcooked his tyres. We've still got 11 minutes left on the play clock. We're going to go back and have a look at this battle one more time between Henry Backman, Dave Geeling, Petru Kotavara, and Andreas Valencias. They are battling for essentially what is 5th all the way through to about 8 positions on the racetrack, and Emil Spindell's going to get past Andreas Valencias. So he's now up into the 8th position on the racetrack.
And this is allowing Paul Ilbrink to get away as Dave Geeling goes past, because Henry Backman made a mistake going into turn 1 and run very wide, and it's allowed Geeling to get through, and Geeling's next target is my teammate Paul.
And that's one of the things as well that Race Control said. If you go wide at turn number 1, you cannot gain a position, but you can also not use it as a method of keeping a position there. And luckily there for Henry Backman, he was able to use those rules to his advantage. But meanwhile, Kotavara down to the inside. He's going to try and get that pass down to the inside at Stoke Corner. Will he get the job done? Yes, he will. So move Petru Kotavara now back up into the 6th position on the racetrack, and Henry Backman losing 2 places there in half a lap on the racetrack. And also Emil Spindell, a charging Emil Spindell behind. Spindell struggled a little bit today though. He's not been able to pass many cars.
Yeah, it's a bit surprising after his race 1 performance where he was just cruising around it. He hasn't really made a dent in this heat, which is unusual, whereas Norby Kiss has been flying around, you know, overtaking left, right and centre, and he's on the back of this group. So, you know, our championship leader's working hard.
Don't forget, you can keep in contact with us on Twitter. Use the hashtag PolarGT. Big shout out to Andy Karasoffer. Yoni Hagner, move of the day, he says. And when he grows up, he wants to be more like Max Delorco. But meanwhile, Norby Kiss in the battle for the 9th position. Will he get the job done? No, he doesn't. But this battle continues. And I'll tell you what, Spindell's reluctance to pass anyone today means that he backs drivers up into him, and now it's a battle between Henry Backman, Emil Spindell, Andres Valencias, Norby Kiss, and it's a four-way battle. And at the lead, it's also coming down.
The lead has come down a monstrous amount as Chris Dameron Jr. has gone, right, I've had enough of this. I'm not letting him get away. Let's go catch him up. So it's down to 0.6 of a second, and it was nearly 2 seconds at one stage. And Dave Geeling is also catching up Paul Ilbrink, and is right on the back as they go down Hanger Straight. He looks to the inside. They're coming down to Stowe. Last late breakers.
It's going to be the last late breakers. Paul Ilbrink's got the
Paul's
part
late
here,
on the brakes.
but...
Oh, here we go. Will he cut back? Cut back. Come on, do the cut back.
Not going to work. And it looks like Geeling's fast. But again, though, don't forget that Ilbrink is not very good when it comes down to braking. That is the thing that Dave Geeling specialises in. Geeling's not very good in the middle of the corner because of it. But of course, by that point, you know where you're going to be. So move now into podium, into fourth place. Dave Geeling, as he's going to try and close down, and Ilbrink tries to look down once again to the inside. Not going to happen. We're going to turn our attention to the battle for the race lead, because last time by, it was a monstrous lap there by Chris Dameron Jr. He did himself a 1 minute 48.671. Compare that to 1 minute 48.848 there for Alexia Loma. We had Wim Stockmans asking on live stream, is that because Alexia Loma has burnt his tyres up too much? Don't forget, at the end of the first race, Aloma was very slow as well, and I've got a feeling that car is set up to, really use those tyres a lot. The gap as they come past the line once again, it's down by 7/100ths of a second.
He's come down, yep.
It's 7/100ths of a second, but now Dameron is in that dirty air.
He's in that dirty air, but he also smells a race win, so he is now compensating for that dirty air by driving the wheels off that McLaren, and he's catching him all the time. You can see it visually on your screens as well. I reckon 2 laps and Dameron Jr.'s in the lead. I'll call it right.
Meanwhile, I tell you what, Dameron Jr. has been compensating his brake fluid so he can brake sometimes, but he is in that second position right now in the number 60 car, and he is closing dramatically now up to the rear of Alexia Loma in the 13 cars to come down to Club Corner. There is just literally 3 car lengths between those 2 drivers. And Dameron Jr., let's not forget though, he had difficulties in heat number 1 getting past drivers. He had to use his front bumper a little bit to try and do it, but meanwhile Sven Glatzel, and this is the battle for the 16th position. There's a little bit of contact there with himself and Ewan Russell-Lyon, I believe. In fact, no, I take that back, I believe. Yeah, with Ewan Russell-Lyon. In fact, once again, as he themselves through Club Corner, they are very, very close together. And maybe Glatzel will try and make a move down to the inside to come down to the average chicane. Already, Russell-Lyon going defensive. Now Glatzel's going to try and make that move. And it's one of those things as well. You dive down to the inside, knowing you're not close enough, but you try and put that car off the racing line, just trying to disturb him a little bit. Meanwhile, you've got yourself Paul Ilbrink and Petri Cotavara now. This is the last of the top 5 positions.
And Don Duan Keeling is on the back door of Don Duan as well. So this is crazy racing.
So right now you've got an Inex driver closing down a Team Redline driver. You've also got Ferracer Azura car closing down a Radical Steel Series car. So some of the biggest names in road sim racing are battling for position with about 5.5 minutes left in the 4th heat of the PolarGT $1,000 Cup here on GlacierTV, and Ilbrink lost a lot of momentum there as they came down into Maggots. This is going to allow Cotavara to get a very good run. He slides there. Cotavara is going to go down to the right-hand side, surely, but no, Ilbrink goes defensive, so Cotavara is going to try and make that move on the outside. And what he did there, Cotavara, he tried to dummy. Now he comes out of the draft once again. He's going to be late on the brakes. He won't get the pass on here.
Keeling as well. Keeling got doing at the same place about 100 yards up the road. Crazy. This is
and
great.
Keeling falls back into line, and Ilbrink falls back into line. Cotavara tries to go for the pass, doesn't make it work. And for Cotavara, he's now got the speed to get into the top 5. And interestingly, this will actually help Cotavara hugely in the championship, because, as I said in the intro, it's not about wins, it's about consistency. Cotavara has been ridiculously consistent.
Yeah, he has, but Keeling He's not going to go for a bridge again, is he? He is. He's looking on the inside.
Oh!
He loves that corner. Is he going to go for the cutback? Oh,
He will
he's
go
got a
for
good
the
run. Here we
cutback.
go. Up the inside.
Here he
Up the
comes.
inside.
He needs to get the pass
Late
done in
race.
this corner. This
Perfect.
corner, he needs to get it done.
What a move.
And he gets it done. Geeling now up into the third position in the race. And I was saying that he had to get it done in that corner because the next corner will be a double apex right-hander.
It did.
And we've seen the outside line didn't work.
Brilliant move. That's two of the best passes of this race as well. Yoni Hagner, what have you got in response to that?
I tell you what, Yoni Hagner's thinking, okay, let's go out, let's go and do 4 wide into the bridge. But meanwhile, Petru Kotivara, this is the last of the top 5 positions. We're going to keep our eye on him for the time being, because this is going to be important for the championship standings, we believe, coming out of this race. And Kotivara right now running in that 6th position, Paul Ilbrink in the 5th spot. But let's not forget that Dom Duhan in 4th, and Dave Geek in the 3rd position. They're not too far out the picture. And one of the things, 30-minute race, we saw drivers overheating their tyres. This is 5 minutes longer. So that's 2.5 extra laps on these tyres.
Exactly. Anything can happen. It's going to be a mad 5 minutes. Chris Damion Jr. has got the gap down to less than half a second now as well for P1.
I don't even know what to look at. I'm having a look at
I don't.
From high above.
I'm new to this as well.
But in fact, we're going to
I feel
try.
like I need to be
We're going to try and show you a view from high above, just to see how close some of these gaps are. Alexei Lohmann, Chris Damion Jr., that is half a second on the racetrack. And the gap between Dave Gilling and Dom Duhan, that is less than half a second on the racetrack. The gap between Petru Kotivara and Paul Ilbrink, that is less than half a second on the racetrack. And then you've also got Henry Backman and Norby Kiss, less than half a second on the racetrack.
Who's up to 9th?
And he's up to 9th, and he needs to have a good finish here. And it's that consistency once again. He's got his first win in the PolarGT series. He's trying to close down Henry Backman. Every position he gained open up in championship standings, as Kotivara is struggling to find a way past Paul Ilbrink right now. But meanwhile,
Paul's struggling on tyres.
2 laps left to go, and Paul is struggling for tyres. Is Alexei struggling for tyres?
Who knows? He's actually pulled away a little bit on that last lap. The gap's back just over half a second. So 2 laps to go. Chris Dameron's probably got 1 chance. He caught up to him loads in the first part of the Beckett's complex. See if he gets a good run on Hanger Straight. So he's got to make.
And we have got, I tell you what, with a lap and a half left to go for Chris Damion Jr. He's been in that dirty air. Now, if this is ever going to be a chance, and you see him weaving across the track there to stay behind the draft of Alexei Lohmann, if there's ever a chance that he has to go, this is going to be it now. Takes a bit of a wide apex there into Stowe Corner, and he's definitely closing. That gap is now just 4 tenths of a second on the racetrack.
It is. This is going to be great. He's got to stay smart. He's got to just hit his apex and away he goes. And Norby Kiss has just got up to P8, which is an unbelievable drive, as he's managed to make his way past Henry Backman. In a lap, can he get on the back door of the battle in front?
I tell you what though, for Alexei Lohmann, all he has to do now, he's going to come down bridge corners, and then he is going to break that car, and then he's going to turn it to the left twice in a row, and then to the right. And look at this, Damion Jr. look down to the inside there, and Lohmann is struggling. And this is with a lap and a third left to go. Lohmann definitely struggling. That gap is now just 2 tenths of a second down into Luffield for the penultimate time. Chris Damion Jr. is smelling, he can smell it now, the victory here in the 4th round of the PolarGT $1,000 Cup. This time by the white flag in hand. 1 more lap to go. Down into Cups Corner they come. The gap at the line.
He's not going to try, is he?
2 tenths of a second. He's not going to try it yet. But if he gets a good run through Maggots and Beckett, we're going to see a huge run down into Stowe Corner.
Will he have the patience though, or will he just?
He's trying it everywhere.
He's trying it everywhere, which is a bit crazy. He's going to get a good exit. He's got a good exit.
Well,
he's going to be the draft. This is going to be great.
He's got a good run, but still, he would have been a better one. He's going to look now down, perhaps to the inside.
Oh, he's got.
This is on the last lap of the race. He's going to go down to the outside. The battle for the race lead.
Cut back.
Here comes the cutback. He will come the cutback, but still, Damion Jr. with half a lap left to go. He's not close enough, though. Cotavara
That
is
is
going to get past
crazy.
Emil Spindell, by the way, so Cotavara now up
But
into the 5th position. These two are battling. It's
Mayhem.
all going on in the last corner of that. We will keep it with your race leader for the time being. This is a battle for the race lead.
Oh.
We're down to the final
gonna-
sector of the race. Here comes Chris Hammond Jr.
Abby's
To the
again.
outside lane. Oh my God, what is he doing? He's going to touch. They touch.
Oh,
them
they touch.
just as Wim Stockman said on the live
And
stream chat,
Geeling's
they
in
will
striking
touch.
distance if these two take each other out. Geeling can get a race win here.
Geeling can smell something.
He can.
But
His carnage meter's engaged, basically.
But, importantly, with 6 corners left of the lap, it's Chris Damon Jr. leading the way. Alexi Loma, will he try and do something in the last corner of the lap? I'm surprised he didn't just not brake there. He's going to give the bump and run if possible, but he gets sideways. Chris Damon Jr. has only led 1 lap so far in PolarGT, but he comes home to take Heat 4 victory. And the gap at the line, just half a second. You saw that Alexi Loma, he gave a little bit of a door slam there to Chris Damon Jr. He said, well, okay then. But he comes home in the 2nd position. Geeling in 3rd, Dom Duhan in 4th, Paul Ilbrink in 5th, Petri Cotavara in 6th, Emil Spindell 7th, Norbert Kiss in 8th, Henry Backman in 9th, and Andreas Valentius in the 10th position. But this is important in my eyes. The top 9 drivers are separated by 9 seconds after 35 minutes worth of racing. Wow.
Brilliant. Absolutely. I thought Proto Ice was good because I was in it, but this racing's fantastic.
Did you not read the
That
tagline?
second race was absolutely amazing.
I think the tagline was, you know, thought Proto Ice was good, think again. Because this is PolarGT and this has been a crazy race on the last lap. And in fact, the last sector of the last lap, Chris Damon Jr. replay up on your screen, able to get past Alexi Loma down at the Abbey chicane. Loma tried everything he could in those last 4 corners. Wasn't able, however, to get the job done. We're going to try and talk to Alexi Loma as quickly as we possibly can. In fact, we'll try it now. Alexi Loma, with Vincent GlacierTV booth, came home 2nd, but you led pretty much every lap except for the most important one here today.
You're right.
Take us through the motions. I mean, it did look as though your tyres were starting to go off in those last 5 or 4 laps. Was it the tyres or was it, you know, the fatigue? What happened?
I don't know. I was too slow.
And you did say, though, before the start of the race, you know, there were a couple of drivers, if they could catch you, you'd have to hold them off. Did you expect Damon to make that move down into Abbey, or were you thinking he was going to try and do it in the last corner?
Well, I felt that the club corner pretty much, so I was slow out of it, and I probably should have just blocked the whole way to the corner, and there was some contact, so I couldn't really do anything after that.
But still, a podium finish in PolarGT in a crazy race, you got to be at least moderately happy with that, correct?
No.
No?
No.
I tell you
Why
what
not?
we'll do is I've heard rumours that you're thinking about running in the 2013 Indianapolis 500 on iRacing. You've also got the iRacing.com World Championship Series, and you've also got rounds, well, 5 and 6 of PolarGT all in the space of 10 days. How the hell are you going to prepare?
Well, the easiest way is to not to prepare, so you kind of just turn when the race is, do some laps, maybe 3 laps, and then a race.
But what about the Banshee Autosport guys you're testing with for Indy? Are you not going to test with them?
Well, I won't test for DWC and PolarGT pretty much. I don't care really practice them. So for Indy, of course, setup is important. So maybe need to do some more testing.
Well, congratulations, a podium finish. Looking for more during the course of the month of May. Alexia Loma coming home in the 2nd position. Dom Duhan, hello again. How you doing?
Hey, man.
Sorry we cut you off last time. We got word in our ears saying we need to take a break. We need to take a break, and now we're back. A 4th place finish. That's kind of good for you.
Yeah, no, pleased with that. I got to say, this has been a bit of a bogey track for me. I haven't performed here well in the past, and certainly that was true to form this time. But I've got to say, it was lovely seeing Alexei getting overtaken right at the last bit, I lolled so hard, the tears coming down my face. That's
Come
why
on.
I kind of didn't get third.
Come on, he's not a My3OD driver anymore. That rivalry can step aside for the time being.
I know. It's just a friendly banter because you know he can give it as good as he takes it,
Oh yeah, but
so to
I mean,
speak.
it's a funny thing as well. You know, Englishman at Silverstone, it's never worked.
Englishman at Silverstone, I don't know.
Englishman at Silverstone.
Richard Towler won or came second DWC, the first DWC.
But still, you know, getting victory, it's so difficult. I mean, you have a look back through industry. I mean, the only person that really comes to my mind is Johnny Herbert.
Oh,
yeah, the
real
home fans are
racing.
disappointed in you, Dom.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't realise we were expanding to that.
The crowds have walked out in their droves because
Well, I
Brit
think you got that wrong. They've
dropped
actually
out of the
walking...
podium.
No, they're walking to the
No.
VIP tent to get my autograph.
Of course. But let's turn it back to the race. A fourth place finish. You had some great battles with Geelink. You had some great battles with Ilbrink. You only finished 3 seconds after 35 minutes worth of racing behind Dameron Jr. You've got to be happy with that, surely.
Well, I mean, I actually thought, seeing as Alexei wasn't pulling away, because I thought he was in clear air, I thought he would, be scampering away at the start. We kept him within 3 seconds, and I actually thought once I got past Paul that I would have a chance of catching Chris, but dude, he was turning it on, and fair play to him. But yeah, and then I could see Dave in my mirrors, and he was mega fast. So I thought, you know what, let's not fight too hard and see if we can work together and hope the two up front make a mistake, which they didn't do. But you know, otherwise both of us could have gone off. So I'm pleased, very pleased.
I've got a technical question for you. From team manager to team manager. You've got so much on your plate right now. You've got the World Championship Series, you've got PolarGT, you've got other things going on as well. How do you get the motivation in all your guys to focus on what they're doing, but also help out in other places when you've got so many different top line series that you're racing in?
Well, that's a really good question. I've got to say, for any top flight kind of sim racing, motivation is the biggest killer for fast drivers dropping out of it, because you know, you can have unlimited practice, you can find an extra half a second by, you know, practicing absolute loads. Some people don't have time to do that. Do you want to make that investment with the chance you're going to get taken out in turn 1? That is it. You know, it's trying to motivate the team at all times. We are motivated by results, certainly, and we have a really good kind of team ethic, working together, trying to help each other. I mean, definitely in DWC, WFCS, whatever it's called, there's some real camaraderie there, and those guys work pretty hard together to fine-tune setups. But in this as well, I mean, we have Christian, who is got a real life racing career, and he's kind of stepped up to the plate and kind of leading us here as well, so it's cool.
Well, we've got rumours that you're going to stick around and chat to us a little bit after the race as well, so we can do a piece for Ice Lounge. So we'll talk to you a little bit later on, but Don, congratulations, 4th place finish.
Cheers, dude. Cheers.
Yeah, well done.
Rob, go and have a chat with Pettery. The sexiest guy ever to wear a pink t-shirt.
Indeed. This channel is useless without pictures, apparently. Pateri, how did your race go from your point of view?
You asked me that how many positions I will gain, and I said 5, and that's it. I started from position 11 and finished 6th, so it was perfect.
Excellent. And on that note, can you give me, please, the UK winning lottery numbers, seeing as you can predict the future?
If you pay me.
I'll tell you
If
what,
I
Rob,
pay you.
have you got a pen and paper ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. 7, 12, 18, 29, 35, and 48.
Yeah, because the lottery's happened.
No, it hasn't. I tell you what, if they
Has it
come
not?
through, everyone, I'm becoming a millionaire.
Anyway,
but still,
back
carry
to
on
the
your
racing.
interview.
Pateri, so
Yeah.
your battles, you had some crazy battles with many people all the way through that race. So What was your favourite move? What is your, your favourite part?
Oh, yeah, really sweaty race and awesome racing, really clean, tough racing. My favorite move was when I got the run from Henry Bachmann out of the maggots, baguettes, whatever, to the straight, and I saw that Henry was going to inside, so I made a fake to the outside, and after he moved a little bit to outside, I went to the inside, and he couldn't close the door from the inside, and I could overtake him.
So what you're saying is you actually replicated at Silverstone the move that Nigel Mansell did on Riccardo Patrese
Yeah.
to a T.
Yes.
I actually have a question to adding to that thing. We caught that one pass live when you actually were two wheels on the grass, approaching the Stowe corner. Were you afraid at all that you are not going to be able to hold the car straight?
It was like 50-50, give it or take. So I couldn't trust my car. I just took the chance. I didn't want to lose the battle. Was it from last time? I can't remember.
That was the hanger
You did
straight.
so many great moves. Yeah, it was the hanger straight.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah,
great,
full throttle.
Great. So, what are you going to do to celebrate that overtaking maneuver?
I'm gonna finish. I mean, Ice Hockey World Championship match, Finland versus Slovakia. That's how we party.
That's how you party. That's how you roll.
I'll tell you what, Petri, I'll have a drink with you when you come over to Finland.
Anyway,
what is it?
I have. Shh. There's a proper overtaker in the house. The man that has just joined us, Joni Hagner.
Hello.
Oh my god, what a pass.
Your move.
3 wide.
Was ridiculous.
Where I was 3 wide?
look at the response! Yeah, it was 3 wide. Yeah, I overtook one guy on the inside, one car on the outside. What are you gonna do about it? But I mean,
well, I passed at, I don't know how many cars. I was starting 36 and I was 14 at the lap 2. So there was quite a lot of overtakes.
Yeah, but you just go through that move. What was going through your mind when you just started, you know what, I've got 2 cars in front, I'm just going to go straight through the middle into one of the fastest corners on the track?
Well, I don't know, there was a room. I go out there, I got a good momentum.
Great move. It certainly made us pay attention. So, what are your hopes for the rest of the series?
Same kind of position like now. Top 10 is always nice to get. Not quite this evening, but just a bad first race, but aiming for top 10.
Cool. Will, you must have some questions about Joni's overtake, surely.
Yoni. How do you do it?
What?
Make those ballsy passes?
Well, I don't know.
No, I mean, and let's be serious for a moment. I mean, you saw one car getting sideways, and you saw the other car losing a bit of time in Abbey. Was it just the case that you're thinking, okay, let's go down, let's make the pass, or was it just a case of, you know, you just see a car going slowly and you move yourself to a point where you can make a pass?
Well, maybe, I don't know. The situation came so quickly, so I just go it for the cap and it stick.
One of the things that you are looking forward towards, though, is a hard charger award, and with some huge gains in this race.
Well, I don't know.
I rather not to take the hard chassis award, cause it might mean that you need to start from the back, and I want to start in the front. It's my style more.
I mean, how was it that first lap down at Cops Corner though? I mean, it was crazy to find your way through there.
Well, I took the outside line because I was half forced there because the Jarno, and came back to track, and I was 14. Nothing special.
Nothing special, but 2 weeks time we're at it all over again. I will still be here for that one. So what are you looking forward to in 2 weeks time?
I don't know.
Come on, give me something. I need something to work from here.
How about you making me a sandwich?
I'll tell you what, I'll make you a sandwich if you give me a beer. Simple as that.
How about long drink? You love it then.
Oh,
You
yeah,
guys
to
are
be
nuts.
fair. Okay, that was your
Cut
only
you out
hack now.
completely
Rob,
because
no,
we
no,
got
no.
Paul Ilbrink,
Shut
my
up,
teammate.
Rob.
No,
Shut
no,
up, Rob.
no, he needs airtime.
No. I'll tell you what, no,
We get
Rob,
royalties.
I'll tell you what, you shut up, I'll interview Paul Ilbrink. Hi, how you doing, Paul?
Hey Will, I'm fine.
That was a crazy, interesting race today.
Yeah.
2 races.
Especially the first race for me. I didn't practice this week, so I only did qualifying, and the first lap was really a mess from my point of view. With cars spinning everywhere, and I have to make some excursions through the gravel pits, but I ended up in the top 20, so that was good for the second race.
And that second race itself, it did seem as though that you were able to really stick with those front guys the first 2/3 of the race. But that second third, was it, sorry, that final third even, was it just the case that you'd abused those tyres too much?
No, not really. In the middle, I started making a couple of mistakes braking too late into the first turn. And that's also why Dom overtook me, I think, because I made a mistake. And from there, I kind of lost the draft that I had in the beginning, so that's made it not as easy as anymore to stick at the group in front. So that's why I lost a bit of time, I think.
But you had an amazing battle with Petro Cotavara in those last couple of laps.
Yeah. Well, I saw him coming earlier in the race, and also saw Dave behind him. And when Dave overtook him and came to me, I thought I'd give him a bit of room because I knew he was so much quicker. And I tried to stick in the draft of Dave for a bit, and I think that just gave me a little bit of extra speed to stay away from Petteri a bit longer. And then it was just a matter of not making mistakes anymore. So he couldn't get a run somewhere, so that worked out pretty well.
And in 2 weeks' time, my schedule's not going to come out correctly because it messed it up. No, 2 weeks' time, we're going to go to Interlagos. We're back to Sunday night. Interlagos, it's, in some ways, it's kind of an amalgamation of the corners that we've had the last 2 races, you know. You've got the fast corners of Silverstone, but the tricky technical sections of Spa. You kind of bring it all together, but it's a very short lap as well, so traffic will come into play in 2 weeks' time. How will that work when you add another dimension into the race?
Oh, I think it will be a good race because there's a lot of braking, and it was good when we raced there in the World Cup, so I'm pretty sure it will be exciting, especially in the second race.
Go on. Let's have a radical to a radical. Go and talk to him, Rob.
Nope. Rob went quiet.
You can carry on talking.
Yeah, well, I just want to thank my teammates for getting a car ready, and it worked pretty well. And thanks to our sponsor SteelSeries.
Can they send me a headset?
I'll ask.
Thank you. That is Paul Ilbrink there, who's had a very good race here today, coming home in the 5th position. And unfortunately, amidst all of the craziness, that is all we have time for today. Very quickly, we'd like to give a shout out to a couple of people for the final time. Starting first with IGP Manager, presenting sponsor of the PolarGT $1,000 Cup. For more information, go to igpmanager.com. Also to iRacing, not only for the work they do in helping us bring together the PolarGT series, but also for all the work they do as well, of course, GlacierTV being the presenting broadcaster of most of the 2013 World Championship Series. I'd like to give a shout out to Shannon Whitmore, also to Sean Siff, also to Tony Gardner, to Jamie and everyone else from that team, and also finally we'd like to give a shout out to our friends over at ETV as well. They've got some great racing coming up, so be sure to check that out. I have been Will Vincent, that has been Rob Carciani. Backman has been the guy on cameras doing all of the legwork that you don't see anything of, so shout out to Yoni. We'll see you all in 15 days time. We're going to be at Interlagos. Until then, until we meet again. Bye bye.